Good to go, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon. At this time, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Before we get started, let me kind of read through our role as a board and kind of the order of the meeting. We try to keep it as relaxed as we can, but we do have to have some semblance of order. Okay, so bear with me. We are the 2025 Board of Equalization and Review for Union County, and we have been appointed by the county commissioners to hear all taxpayers with respect to concerns/complaints regarding the valuation of their property for tax purposes. Property owners appearing before the Board of Equalization and Review have a right to a fair and equitable hearing. The Board of Equalization and Review has been charged with ensuring that the proper legal principles have been applied in a valuation dispute for tax purposes. So when we get started and the way this will work, you'll come to the front, but before you come, the staff will locate the property on the monitor so we're all looking at it. And then the books that are here are the same that we have here, so we're all looking at the same thing, okay? The pages are numbered, so they're usually numbered in red at the bottom, so if we get to referring to page numbers, that's where they'll be. At that time, you'll go ahead and present your information to the board. We ask that you hold it to 10 minutes. When it gets to be about 8 minutes, you'll get a 2-minute warning from the clerk, okay? And after you present your information to the board, if you would stay up front, make sure you're speaking into the mic. Members of the board will have chances to ask you questions. After we get finished with the round of questions, you'll have a seat. The county will come forward. They'll present their information, and we'll do the same thing, have questions of the county. They'll have a seat, and then we'll give you up to 5 minutes for any rebuttal comments you would like to make, okay? I would remind you that the meeting is being recorded, and that if you have any sales data that you're presenting to the board, that sales data needs to be as of 1/1/25 or before. It cannot be February, March, May of this year, because the effective date of the property reevaluation is 1/1/25. All questions from either party need to be directed to me as chairman. After we hear all the taxpayers on the agenda today, we will then go into the deliberation phase of the hearing. You're welcome to stay for that. Sometimes can get kind of lengthy, sometimes not. Regardless, you will be notified of the board's decision in writing within about 30 days. By statute, the burden of proof is on the taxpayer to demonstrate that the assessment is erroneous. Only individual taxpayers or licensed residential or certified real estate appraisers licensed to do business in North Carolina may express an opinion of value of real property. No other persons, whether attorneys in fact, attorneys at law, or corporate representatives, are entitled to express an opinion of value of real property. So with that, are there any questions? And if you would, please silence or put your cell phones on vibrate, and we will get started. Madam Clerk?
If the board would turn to tab 1 in your notebooks for the first hearing.
And I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the June 26th Addendum B, Hearing 10, by removing parcel 07114094 in order to allow the appeal to be heard today.
Second.
So I have a motion from Mr. O'Keefe to that effect, a second from Mr. Bench. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So the motion is carried, and we will hear from that taxpayer today.
The next hearing on the agenda is tab 2, parcel 06006008, Freedom Farm LLC.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Will?
Got the parcel pulled up. If you'll go to page 11, you'll see a map that's pulled further out. We are in Weddington rural neighborhood, and property is on Potter Road, located between Weddington Road and Newtown.
Okay. Everybody familiar with the location?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Marshall.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yep.
My name is Ann Mackey, and I am the indirect owner of this parcel. My husband at the time and I bought this parcel in 2015, so if you go back and look back at the tax records then, it shows that James and Ann Mackey own the property. We bought this solely, this 10-acre farm, to be used as an animal rescue, which is what I've been doing with this farm since 2015. Did not live at the property. There's no one that lives at the property because there's only a garage apartment and a barn on the property when we bought it, and nothing has really changed. The thing that's kind of become the most confusing thing to me was the comps that were used when establishing the evaluation of this property. First of all, the first one that was used, they're 2 and 3 years old. And then the first one is a double parcel. It's more than 5 miles away, and it's a land and a home package. And it was proposed to be a $2.0 million property with 0 floodplains to either of the 2 parcels that make up that comp property that was used as well. The other one was PID M7150010. If you'll notice on page 4 of the documentation that I sent you guys, and page 5 that y'all have, there is no record of this property on the GIS Atlas tax portal. I was able to pull up a deed for the property, but there is no information about this parcel. So there was no way for me to verify anything about the sale of the parcel or anything. So you cannot find it on the portal, so GIS mapping system. So it's not really a reasonable comp. And then the last one was the other property is the Underwood property, which sold for, let me see here, the amount was sold for $1,120,000, and that it was actually, a house was on the property at the time of the sale for Underwood. If you'll notice that on page 3, you can see the picture of the home that was sold, but when the comp was used, it was used as just land for the dollar amount that it was sold for, not including the fact that at the time of the sale of said property, it had this large home on the property. When in reality, the best comp that could be used for my property for Freedom Farm LLC is one that just closed back in December of 2024, and it is actually my direct adjacent neighbor who owned about 9 acres of property at the time, and he has since, back in December, sold off 6.96 acres of it. It's now listed as 413 South Potter Road, but based upon the way that those lots are laid out, his house that's on the road front is 2 houses away from me, but his lot goes and forms an L shape, so it abuts directly to my property and has all the same flooding problems that my property has as well, and he has done nothing about it except for make it worse, actually. But anyway, and so that's on page 9. If you will look and see, you can see that where I've written 411. 411 and 413 were one parcel prior to December of 2024, and so he sold it off, and it has the amendment E listed on the parcel number now, and that recently sold for $355,500. So if you do the math on that, it's about $52,000 per acre.
Excuse me, too.
Sure.
Because I was trying to follow. I think this is the separate information that we have here.
That's
You're on it, Jim.
Yeah, I've been looking
Right
at the
here.
other one.
Yep. Tom, okay.
Yep, the packet.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
packet, okay.
Am I going all over the place? Sorry.
Well, no, it was
Okay.
in front of us, and I just forgot it applied to this,
Oh,
this
okay.
one item. So I'm
yeah.
with you now.
So if you look at page 8, which shows the sales price for that parcel, which is just a lot parcel, and is in the same floodplain, as you can see by the FEMA maps that are up, that you can tell that it has significant amount of flooding. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. But it was just not my understanding as to why this one was not used as a perfect comp. I mean, it abuts to my property. It sold in December of 2024, and it is the exact same, pretty much, as my property. It's got the same floodplain problems. But we'll get to that too. Then also, I have a appraisal that was done for this property earlier this year by a local, well-known appraisal company here in Monroe that specializes in farm properties and such. And he did the appraisal for that, which puts it more exactly right in the range at which I had put it in. So if you take the first point of what the cost per acre it was sold for, and multiply it times my 10 acres, that's right there at the $520,000. That includes 0 discounts for the fact that it's in floodplain. So realistically, I could argue that it's actually less than what I'm asking for, than 510, because 2/3 of my parcel are completely underwater. And not all the time, but I will tell you it is quite frequently, several times a year, and I've got some pictures in the stack too that will show you, but unfortunately, Union County doesn't take very good care of their creeks, and so these creeks get a lot of debris, and they will actually cause a lot of backup in the creeks. And ironically, the county came through in 2015 and did a sewer easement project and raised the table of the easement along the back of my property. So unfortunately, then when it flooded from the creek, which it does, like I said, frequently, that water has no place to go but to sit on the lower part of my parcel. So it's unfortunate that I'm having to struggle with that aspect of it as well, because it sits there like a swamp and has nowhere to go. Particularly if it's like if the ground is oversaturated, it just sits there and it's truly a swamp. I'll let you look at the appraisal however you guys see fit, but also wanted to just point out, like I've already mentioned, is the flood zone. And then you can see from the several pictures that I've included, particularly on page 17, and you can see it on the map that y'all have up there as well. Number 1 is where the house, or I call it a house, it's not really a house, it's a garage apartment. And then barn is over on the middle part of the lot, and then you can see how the floodplains come up to pretty much 2/3 of the property. There is about 2 acres that sits on the other side of 12 Mile Creek, which is completely inaccessible for me. I'd have to go over to Potter's Trace Development or cross the creek, which I'm not about to do because there's a lot of bull tallow soil in that creek, and if any of y'all are familiar with bull tallow soil, you're either going to get sucked in or you're going to slip. So it's not fun. But anyway, so that 2 acres is just, and it stays completely underwater all the time. Anyway, so you can see just from page 18, where I've also included the full flood map lines and that how it affects the E parcel that just sold recently as well. So it is truly a perfect comp for my property. And then 19 just shows you the 2 acres that sit behind. I isolated those with the little polygram. And that's about 2 acres that is unusable pretty much because you can't access it and it's completely swamp all the time. And then as you can see from page 20, that, and the county concurs that it's about 5 3/4 to 6 acres of the 10 acres of property that do get flooded. And if you look back real quickly at the page that has the photographs on them, and I apologize for the concept, the bad contrast on the photographs, but you can see if you look at page 1, that is directly behind the barn, looking to the back pastures to the 10 acres that abuts Potter's Trace development. This is how the whole area floods that there. And if you look at number 2 in the photograph, that's taken from the E parcel that's next to mine. I was actually on that neighbor's parcel. You can see how high the water is. It's all the way up to the
Yeah,
fence.
Hold on
Sorry.
wait just a second.
Those pictures here in black and white are in color on page 36. Starting on page 36.
Yeah, what I emailed in for the appeal.
Keep going, because we're getting
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
kinda.
So you can just see by the pictures. I wanted y'all to see, and I have lots more pictures. This just wasn't one day in time. I could have included many more pictures.
I think we got the floodplain issue, okay?
Yeah, I just don't see the percentage of deductions on the 2 acres behind the creek. It's not usable. I don't know why it's at 70%. So, and then the other 4 acres are, underwater a lot of the time as well, and the soil gets ruined, grass and everything. And even affects my fencing. I've had to replace the fencing because of the flooding from the creeks.
Okay. Let me, so you've presented a lot of good information here, so I appreciate it. Let me see if members of the board have questions.
Okay.
And then I think one of your items I can clarify if somebody else doesn't clarify it first. Mr. O'Keefe?
Yeah, on this, the sale, the comp that you're using, you introduced, you told the county about that, correct?
Yes, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
that was definitely in my.
That's what I just wanted to make sure of that.
Yeah, it's in
I'll
there.
wait-
Yeah.
I'll wait for the county to hear what they're explaining.
Yeah, and I had included a couple other comps too that are more in line with, there's 2 more other comps that are more in line with my property as
And the county's
well.
seen both of them, so they can,
Right.
they've addressed. they can
Exactly,
address
and
it.
they're current versus 3 years old.
Gotcha.
So, anyway, so that's pretty much it. I mean, the guy that owns that lot is somewhere out in Arizona. So,
Mr. Benchin?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Ma'am, did you say that you are looking at opinion of value of 510,000?
that's correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, because on the
Which
sheet-
coincides with the math doing with the lot next to me as well as the appraisal.
All right, appreciate that. That was it, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Mr. Smith?
As I see this, there's zero practical way to access the land across the creek.
That is correct, unless you cross it or literally go drive down Potter's
the-
Trace
the
Road.
cost of
And I
building.
have done that, actually. I've rung doorbells and stuff, and they were all excited about, oh, there are gonna be animals back there. I'm like, you're not gonna be able to see them, though.
No, but to access it as usable.
Correct.
It's not usable. And
Not at all.
I live on 12 Mile Creek, so I understand, okay.
You know. And
The,
you know what I mean about the maintenance of the creeks, too, so.
There's only so much they do. It is what it is there.
Yeah.
But you have an issue with land across the creek that is impractical to build a structure to get to
Correct.
it if you ever wanted to do anything.
Well, not only that, but you couldn't build on the other 4 acres as well because of the flooding. It just, so you can't have a builder come in and, try and buy it for big dollars because there's just not the space to put the return on their investment back in it because it's floodplain.
And if I look at this appraisal, it seems to really be appraising it as a structure with land. And then
Yeah, I mean,
excess
that's
land.
the hard thing is because it's a garage apartment and so there is no home. And so that is the condition that makes it a little bit difficult because most comps that are out there have a home on the property as well, unless it's just like a land structure. But it's only 600 square feet if you include the garage part of it too. So, but right now I have rescue dogs living in the garage apartment.
Okay, thank you.
And we can have the county clarify this to a point, but I think with, probably the issue with that comp on 12/13 of 2024 is just button up so close to 1/1 of 25. Not saying it couldn't be used, but
Sure.
all their data is already done in
Right.
preparation to get
Sure.
everything out as of 1/1 of 25 is probably the issue there, but
Okay.
we'll have them speak to that.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, Ms. Mackey, if you'll have a seat,
Sure.
and we'll have the county come forward.
Okay.
And then I'll give you, after they finish, up to a 5-minute rebuttal if we need to.
Very
Okay?
good. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Marshall,
How we doing?
doing good.
Hey,
So as you can tell, we have some flood on this one.
Yeah.
Let's go to page 52. And we're looking at 10-acre parcel. At 52 is a pretty detailed breakdown of what we currently have on the property. We have several different flood zones. The first is the really light pink that you see, the very thin line that runs the first initial line. That's reduced at 10%, that's flood zone X. Second, which is 1.663 acres, that's getting a 45% discount for flood zone AE. The next one, which is kind of the dark pink, it's 2.0344 acres is getting 45%, that's AE FW. And then what we did behind the creek, we treated that differently and we added an additional 25% for access. So those last two areas behind the creek are receiving a 70% discount. And page 53, 54, 55 is just a detailed breakdown of each line in the flood that we have. It basically goes over what I just showed you and gives you the discount amounts.
Got you. Okay.
As far as the appraisal goes, we did receive that, looked at it, and the only thing I can say, the three comps that were used on the appraisal are all in Parkwood School District. We treat those two areas very differently. I didn't get it in the packet, but I've got a map showing you where those parcels are. And also I included some land sales in the two different areas.
we have more?
Thank you. This is just a kind of high-level view of the sales within the Weddington unplatted, and then also unplatted Waxhaw, which is the area of the comps that were used in the appraisal.
I got two of those.
Was these just averages?
These are actual sales from that we reviewed, vacant land sales.
This is vacant land.
Yes.
Not, and so the comp on 06006-007A, that's or the neighboring comp that was sold on, I think, in December.
Correct.
How does that factor in?
Well, so
That's a
that,
sale.
if you look, our comp analysis is on page 59.
Got it? Okay.
Let me get to her. We could have included that. It's a little bit smaller. That parcel originally was 8.61 acres, and it was listed in 2023 for $899,000.
It's on 59, page 59?
Yes.
Oh, I see, never mind, I got it down below. No, I don't.
Yeah, go to.
Done on kind of, you ready for
Yeah, I'm
questions?
just
for us?
ready for questions.
Yeah, I've got one, but let's, Mr. Benson,
Go ahead, come back to me, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Smith.
The comps you used here, I'm trying to make sure I understand which ones you were using, where they are farther in the book. Is there one on Forest Lawn that was like 8 acres or so, is one of these?
I don't have the address. There's one, it's 8.3 acres. It's on page 59.
Yeah. And is that the same property as on 63? I'm just trying to, is that a different, am I looking at it totally wrong here? 8.3 acres. On
Yes.
page 63.
Yes.
And the sale was for how much? 585?
Yeah.
567, 500.
For 567, 500.
Correct.
8 acres and no idea if there's flood issues with it.
No.
And this piece of property I know of has nominal flood issues and was bought for a subdivision that's being developed. I
Okay.
know that for a fact.
Yep.
It was built for a 2-divide parcel, as it had access to everything it needed. And even at that, at 585 divided by, that is with no impairment that I'm aware of on that property, is, I would say that it shows that this value is overvalued. I would just leave it at that. Just by looking at that one, because I know where that one is, and I know what's going on there. As I say, it's
Yeah, I believe
kind of the
that,
other side of the creek from me.
I think there's a aerial of that one on page 60. If that's the same one you're talking about.
Yeah. It has very nominal at the bottom floodplain issue, very nominal. And it's currently being divided right now, worked on. It's a minor subdivision in Weddington.
This might just be more for thought. I don't know if this would be something you'd have readily in front of you, but on the county comp analysis, the median per acre number is like 92,490. So as you would compare that to Waxhaw, the Waxhaw unplatted sales, would it be fairly similar, or?
No, I mean, it would depend on the size, but Waxhaw unplatted Waxhaw would be significantly less.
Yeah. There's a
than-
lot more sales there, but.
Yeah, there's a lot more sales. There's also a lot more larger parcel sales.
And the unplatted Waxhaw would be the whole blue area here.
Yeah, but this really would, as they're
The whole
calling it,
Parkwood,
Correct.
that's unplatted Waxhaw.
Yes.
but it's really Weddington.
Yeah, but I think what they're saying, though, the
Their,
comps that
their
the
comps
appraiser.
were out there, I know.
But to me, they're bordering right up to Weddington.
They are.
And I
But-
just-
But there's a comp that's next door, and then I think honestly, the comp, this one here on Forest Lawn, you would have to heavily adjust this one to get the price per acre, and it's already pretty low.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got some thoughts on this one
Yeah.
the same way, but, okay, any additional questions for the county at this time?
My original question, what about the comp that she's talking about, that she's putting a lot of weight on? It's two properties down.
It is close. We could have included it on page 59. It's smaller. I think if you did put it in there, the median would be very close to where it is now, because that would be the outlier on the low side,
Okay, so what's the median right now?
92,490.
490, and that's Weddington rural.
Correct.
Got it.
Okay. Everybody good?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Ms. Mackey, I know you have a comment. Well, wait a minute.
It's,
Come back to the mic.
okay, now that I'm actually able to see this comp.
Yeah, you
that-
might still need for you to speak into the
Oh,
mic.
sorry.
You can turn it. You can
Okay.
probably turn it and still go to the side.
Sure, no, now that I'm able to see this comp, that was the one that we couldn't find on the Atlas portal,
Right.
it was just the meets and bounds, that I was able to find the deed for it, so, now I'm seeing this, though, but the bigger point, though, is that actually that lot that he referred to as two down is not actually two down, it abuts, it is adjacent to my property. The
Understood.
house that was originally tied with that 6.96 acres that Forrest Jones just sold back in December is on the front part, and that was the original parcel. It was like a 9-acre parcel or something like that, that he was actually trying to sell the entire thing and had it listed for something ludicrous like $800,000, and then nobody was going to touch it for that because it's in floodplain. And so he ended up just selling off that 6.96 that's directly behind him. But because the house next to me is just on 1 acre, his lot goes behind that house and directly abuts my property. So that, like, we share a property line on that property. And so, like, if you do, like I said before, if you do the math, that $35,000 per acre, that would put my property at $355,000 with zero flood allowances whatsoever. So, I mean, and that was a recent sale, and it's right next door. So, it's just kind of, it's a unique property, and so I think that there's just different allowances that need to be made, and
agree.
there's just, yeah, so,
Well, thank you for all your input.
Okay,
and
thank you.
good information.
Thank
And
you.
then we'll
Appreciate
take it
y'all's
up.
time.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Okay. All right, let me get all this organized back.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah. And that was just the first one.
Nice to have somebody prepared
Yeah.
and show up.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I
Yes.
ask one thing related to that case?
Yes.
Will, did you research that on MLS? Were you able to find it, the sale she was referring to next door?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so it was listed for $899 on November of '23 at 8.61 acres. We had a land split in October of '24. Acreage changed to 6.96, and that's the piece that sold, the sale that she's referencing.
What was the amount of that sale?
6.96.
Yeah, for the 6.9?
What did it sell for again?
355.
Yeah, which is about, sold for $52,000 an acre.
Unadjusted.
Correct.
And that was on the MLS?
Yes.
And that's a parcel that has no road frontage, right? Correct?
No, so it had road frontage before the split. When they did the split, the property lost road frontage. It's behind, directly behind it now.
Does it have easement, do we know?
I don't know.
You have to.
She probably doesn't know either, it's not
I
her
do know,
property.
actually.
There is easement?
It's not a technical easement, but he's created a right-of-way to the right of his property that will go directly back to that property.
Between the two houses?
That's correct, between the Ammons house and his house, he has, to the very far right, right on the Ammons property line, he's created a right-of-way for that easement back there, or that property back, that parcel back there.
He had to do something.
Yeah, I don't think they'd let him otherwise.
No.
Okay. Thank you. We good with the county there? Okay, thank you very much. Thanks. Madam Clerk?
The next hearing is hearing 3, parcel 08108-009A, Richard Dees.
This must be farm day.
Okay. If you'll turn to page 9 for the map, you'll see 200 Morgan Mill Road intersects with Old Camden, and this property is located on GB Hill Road, which connects Old Camden and Rillahampton Road.
Okay. Have a good idea where that is? Yep. Okay. Everybody good?
Yep.
Good, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Dees.
Good afternoon,
Yeah.
members of the board. Thank you for allowing me this time to stand before you today. Don't have any floodplain issues.
Okay. We've heard a lot of that lately. We hear a lot of that every
We
year.
did a lot of floodplains.
I'm just here today for a couple issues. One, I know that in doing the tax assessment, it's a very tedious and time-consuming thing. I know the time that would be required to look at each property on an individual basis there's no way that can be performed, so you've got to do the mass
Right.
structuring. But in doing that and allowing a fair assessment and a fair market value, some properties require a little bit more in-depth research. My property is one of those because although what I submitted to you is not more of a comp, but just as I was trying to get all this together, I'm a numbers guy, and I just couldn't really make rhyme or reason for the inconsistencies on the price increase of different properties, and those were what I pulled up in my surrounding neighborhood. I will say that in regards to my property, the assessed value significantly increased, but a couple factors affect that, and I'd like to bring those to your attention. I gave Mr. he got a chuckle the other day. I was speaking with him, and he said, on your website, there's a thing that's titled the 2025 Schedule of Value Standards and Rules. He said, you might want to go and look at that. And I said, well, I've read the whole entire 169 pages. Line by line, just trying to pick and scream, as far as what I could bring forth to the board today. But in a fair market value, as far as my property goes, there's two items, and that's zoning and access. I have a right-of-way. I have no road frontage. I've got a 20-foot easement to the property. Checked on that today. And the 9.33 acres under current Union County zoning, I'm unable to subdivide. I went through exercises about a year ago. That land, I tell people, is 9.33 acres holding the world together in that specific location. I want to give my daughter an acre of land to build on. So that's when I went to the planning board, and because of current Union County zone, I can't subdivide it. I'm 65 years old. I'm not using what it could be to full potential, but I'm not putting a grape vineyard out there. I'm too old to start another business. So I just keep it mowed and let the deer go out there and graze. But because of those two factors, and generally on a rule, when you have right-of-ways and can't subdivide, that does decrease the value of the property. So that's just what I ask you to take a look at today, because, you know, a couple of examples, if a developer saw 9.33 acres, well, that's tempting, especially in Union County in the Piedmont School District. But when he goes to look at it, well, it's on the right-of-way, and I can't subdivide it, he's going to turn and walk away. Second example, and I've had this happen many years ago, a family of 5 walks up, 9.33 acres. That'd be a nice horse farm. The acreage is great, but the size of my house being 1,226 square feet was the deterrent, because the family of 5 comfortable living is about 1,800 to 2,000 square feet. But I don't have an issue with what the assessed value of my home is. It's just asking you guys to take a look at what the acreage value is,
Okay.
because I think it's inflated. I went on Zillow yesterday afternoon just trying to prepare, and what they say that if I were to ask for it falls in line with what I see, although I'm not selling. And you also state that it's based on fair market value, and that it's the price between a willing buyer and a willing seller. But you guys have been around the block long enough that no matter what you ask for the property, you're not going to get any more than what somebody's willing to pay for it. But I'm not going anywhere. So that's all I have this time.
Okay. Let me see if members of the board have questions. Mr. Smith?
No. I mean, you're less than 10 acres, you can't be in the farm program, so you can't get a discount that way. And you got a 20-foot easement, doesn't allow you to do anything. I understand where he is.
Okay. Mr. Benson?
You said you're more, greetings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You say you're more interested in the acreage value?
Yeah, like I say, the new tax assessment on my home, I don't have a problem with, because I know replacement costs and the way everything skyrocketed. What you've assessed my house at, I have no issue with. It's just the acreage value, because the previous was, I think it was like 9,200 an acre, now it's valued at 25,304.
Okay. So you have no problem with the 416,900 is what you're saying?
No, that's not what he's saying.
No,
I'm asking him.
I was showing 475,900.
Well, the
That's
county
what-
has lowered it, the county, to 416,900.
I didn't get any amendment because the tax bill in front of me. All right, see, that drops the house, but keeps the land the same price. That's what this bill is.
Okay. So if you're good with that, we'll just discuss the land.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can I
Yes.
say one thing? When we make adjustments, when we run our sales comparables, we make the adjustments to just the improvement, not the land. That's where our factor is, and that's where we make the adjustments to. So we would not, in this case, when Mr. Marshall made the adjustments to the property, it went toward the house, to the
Right.
structure part. That's where we make our adjustments to. And we're looking at an overall value. We don't really, we look at it as a package.
Yeah, you're not looking, yeah.
We don't separate it out.
Right.
It's a house on 9 acres.
Right.
So just so y'all are aware, so the adjustments, went there,
Okay.
and that's why the house is
I think
so low.
I appreciate you pointing that out. I remember hearing that maybe in years past, but it's good to know. Good to know. Good?
So just so I'm clear, you're saying that the value that it's assessed at, whether it was 9 acres or 2, would be the same?
No, sir.
Okay, then.
Well, it's just when they make the adjustment, they're putting that adjustment on the improvements,
The structure.
the structure.
On the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're looking at it as a total. They're not looking at it land and house. They're just looking at the total assessment.
There's no splitting them?
Correct.
Right.
Although we do have to come up with a value for both, but we're looking at the total value. When we do our neighborhood adjustments and look at our sales ratios, it's a total value. We're not, that makes sense. So any adjustments that we make get applied toward the structure, but again, it's affecting the overall total value of the property.
So everything goes toward the one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just to make sure I'm clear, what you're saying is that you're going to value the whole thing as a price, but you have a value for the acreage and a value for the house.
Yes.
When you make an adjustment, you're only making an adjustment to the house. You don't mess with the land value.
When we do our
Other than 45% for, floodplains, things that are automatic.
Correct.
Got it.
If it was yes, sir, that's correct.
All right, that helps a great deal, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
So if it's a sales analysis, he has an improved property, right? So we run a sales analysis report with other homes similar to his that have acreage. The
it.
adjustment's going to go toward the home.
Got it. That makes sense.
Okay, is there,
No, I'm good now, Mr.
mention Mr. O'Keefe, any additional questions?
No, I'm good, thanks. I'll wait for the county.
Okay. And Mr. Dees, you understand now the current value is 416.9. Just to clarify your opinion of value, and it may be in your comments here, your opinion, total
250.
value is what?
250.
Is 250?
Oh,
Well, that's what this is, but what is he
well, like I
saying
say,
now?
that information, the home value was, I think, valued at 239.
Right.
And I didn't have issue with that, but like I say, my question to Mr. Nealon, or,
Mr. Helms?
okay. And doing the mass assessment, like I say, one, road frontage, I have 0, right away, and not able to subdivide. And I know that decreases the value. Was that
Yeah,
taken
but
into
your
consideration?
questions will need to come to me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, okay,
I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
But was that taken into consideration?
Yeah. The, can we get clarification on the frontage and,
I can.
yeah,
We've had this come up since I've been here forever.
right,
And we've done studies, and this is a more rural area, it's in the Piedmont. Having 9 acres or 10 acres or even more acres and acreage than that with just a right-of-way is not uncommon.
right.
And we've not seen it impact the sale price. A
Right.
lot of people in the county love the privacy, they want the acreage, so there's a market for it. We haven't seen an impact on the
And I
value.
think we've heard that in prior meetings, yep, yep. Okay. Mr. Dees, if you would, if you could have a seat, and then we'll hear from the county, then I'll give you, a rebuttal time after the county
Thank you
finishes.
very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, as he stated, we're looking at 9.33 acres in Unionville unplatted. I put a analysis for both improved properties and just land. Improved property analysis is on 23. The initial appeal He mentioned that he was in a modular home, so for this analysis, I had to go a little bit further out because I wanted to include modular homes. So that's why you see, 4 and 5 miles out, they were adjusted based on the differences. And then on page 24, we've got the land sales for the neighborhood. And I included all of them, so you could see basically from the smallest parcels up to the largest sale in the area, which is 42 acres.
Okay. Questions for the county? Mr. Benson?
No, not at this point, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. O'Keefe?
Where is the right-of-way, do you know, on this
I don't.
picture?
It looks like the driveway coming in.
Just the driveway coming in?
Yeah,
the
it
top?
looks like, it comes in right
Gotcha.
there.
Okay.
The house, it's kind of hard to see, it sits up here.
No, I just got it. Thank you.
Mr. Smith?
You have the big whole thing of all the sales for acreage or whatnot, but really there's no way to differentiate if they have road frontage, not road frontage access. You do put flood influence in,
We do.
yeah, but I didn't see anything else.
No, we don't,
I know you don't,
Yeah.
I just look at, I see shape and access and I understand that's where the petitioner's beef is.
And
So I just make that as a statement.
okay.
I assume since he has that driveway coming from what I perceive to be the north end of the property to the right that has frontage on Rilla Hamilton, that's not owned by him? The,
I do not believe so.
8010.
That's your only parcel. He does not own that.
okay. I didn't think so, just wanted to make sure. And, okay. Any additional questions for the county? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Sure. Okay. Mr. Dees, any final comments you'd like to make? No, sir. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
The next hearing will be hearing 4, parcel 07114-093, Ray Keolo.
All right, so this parcel is going to be located in the Sun Valley School District. If you're familiar where Brandon Oaks, where the entrance is on Old Monroe Road, if you leave there and heading towards Indian Trail, this property will be located on the right, right before you get to South Fork Road.
Yeah, and that South Fork Road is kind of the little cut-through road that
Yes,
runs
sir.
from there back into Indian Trail?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, got you. And I believe we have information here on several appeals from Mr. Killo, right here. There may be pictures with some tabs on it. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Killo? Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And if we need to refer to this, kind of let us know this is separate from what we have in the book.
Okay.
Okay?
My name's Ray Killo, and this is my daughter Mary Wynn Roletter,
Okay,
and our properties are contiguous.
right.
They join, so we'll be dealing with those at this point in time. But the first one is a property that she has oversight on, and so we'll let her go ahead and explain the situation there.
Okay, yeah, so
And we
this
just
is,
need to make sure you're speaking into the mic.
I'll scoot over. This is 5025 Old Monroe Road, and we have several reasons for this appeal. If y'all are familiar with the properties on Old Monroe Road, you know that there's a DOT project going on, construction for putting in a super street there, and this project started, I guess, about 2 years ago and is still ongoing. But all that in mind, property value has increased despite decreased acreage and the construction in the front yard. The aesthetic appeal of the front yard is diminished by construction debris, equipment, disruption to the landscaping. And in addition, the area remains overgrown and unmaintained, and even though that is no longer our property that I am referring to, it definitely has an impact on our property.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, is this number 4 that she's going over
Yeah,
now?
we are on tab 4, 5025 Old Monroe Road, yes.
Okay.
Brick home on some acreage, it looks like. Yeah, sorry, okay. Yeah.
Let's see. We were just notified that this project has been delayed, and our property is going to look like this for years. Last we heard, it's supposed to start around 2028-ish, the actual construction. They're in the process of moving power lines and doing other things to it right now. And we've included some pictures in just a minute we'll reference. Also, in addition to this, there is now flooding that occurs in the front yard that did not take place before this construction. And there's a picture of that. Actually, we can go ahead and look at that. If you flip over behind this, are y'all on, I have it numbered page 5, but I know we kind of got out of order since we have 4 properties we're talking about. But if you look here, it's labeled flooding in the front yard. On one of the pictures, you can see the construction netting that's up. On the other one, there is no construction netting up, but you can see how water just puddles now in the front yard. And then also as a result of construction from this project and others upstream, flooding has actually increased in the backyard as well. So if you flip over, you can see a picture. And again, there's multiple pictures we could have shared, but this is just a couple just to show what's going on in the backyard.
And this floods all of the property to the property line, in essence, in the back.
Yeah.
And so taking all that into consideration, the other properties that were looked at for comparisons in this appraisal didn't have this stuff going on in the yard, meaning all the construction. So the market value is high compared to other properties without the DOT mess in consideration. So in looking at the properties that were used for comparisons, they're over 2.5 miles from our house towards the Weddington area. So they're also located further away. And I understand too, and it's been mentioned before, it's hard to find comps for unique properties such as this. So I understand that, but I also know that certain things need to be taken into consideration, such as the loss of land, decreased curb appeal, and the biggest issue that we have now with this road construction is a turnout that's going to be in the front yard. And I think y'all can, actually it's illustrated up there, as well as if you flip over on the pictures, there's actually a DOT map on there that shows the big bulb turnout that is now in the front yard. Along with this, obviously taking up more road frontage, we have no control of access here. Meaning if we wanted a driveway off of there, egress, ingress, we do not have that option anymore because it's controlled access. We can't access property with the road frontage there at that. So, in looking at the market value for this property, I have at the bottom, the numbers show a 72% increase in market value within 13 months because it was reassessed because of the road construction. It was adjusted then, but it also went up 72% within 13 months, which is also concerning.
Good.
Here again, with regard to the construction and the turnout, we are, and I don't know how much value.
Maybe
you put on-
turn that mic towards you a little bit.
I don't know how much value you put on inconvenience, but necessarily, we have to access the property if we're coming from the Charlotte Indian Trail area, we have to go another 1/4 mile to make a left turn and then come back into our property to make a right turn.
Right.
So there's a consideration there. We can't even use this turnout
Right.
that is on us.
Okay. Okay. Let me see if members of the board have questions as it relates to this one. I think we have multiple properties we're looking at. We'll need to take them one at a time.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith.
I want to hear from the county on this one. I
Yeah.
understand where they are.
Right, okay. Mr. Benson?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Was there flooding before the construction?
In the front yard, no. In the backyard, yes.
But it's gotten worse.
Let me give a little history here. My granddaddy purchased this property back in 1923, and so we're a century farm. And as I grew up on the property, and basically back when there was no flooding, but as there's been building and road construction and everything in the floodplain upstream, the flooding has continued to increase. And just as was mentioned early on, with that flooding comes the debris and that kind of thing that it becomes a problem. But nevertheless, this is something that has, the flooding has increased markedly in my lifetime.
And one of the contributing causes to that as well, if you look at the map 2 parcels over, and it's all family land, but it's our cousin's property there, they put in a detention pond, and if you're familiar with those, it fills up and then releases water, and that also gets released on us essentially because we're upstream from that.
So that's, if I'm looking, let me look at it with you. So if we're looking at it, that's to the left
What parcel number
or to
is
the
that?
right?
Yeah, it would be to the
To the left.
Two
Yes,
to
sir.
the left, so
Yes, sir.
98,
Yes, sir.
okay,
90 would be,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
okay. Mr. O'Keefe,
No questions right now. I want to
okay.
listen, hear the county.
Killo, and ma'am, your last name again?
Roletter, Mary Wynn Roletter.
Roletter, okay. If you would have a seat, and then we'll hear from the county, then I'll give you a chance for a rebuttal at the end if you'd like to. How we doing, Mr. Smith?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, we'll start just with the land, just with the sales. If you go to page 25, I pulled land sales, and they're all located within the Sun Valley School District. They range from 2.4 acres to 17.4 acres. The median price per acre between all of those sales is $51,724 an acre. The subject property is 9.858 acres, and we have them valued at $48,925 per acre, which is below the median, which, as you can see on the map, this parcel does have floodplain. It has all 3 different layers of the floodplain. The floodplain does total 3.6226 acres, so the flood adjustment is $76,200. If you go to page 26, you will see the comparable sales analysis. I used 3 sales. I tried to find similar properties that were on a busy road. All 3 of these sales are located off Chestnut. I was not able to find any located off Old Monroe Road. But our value on the comparable sales analysis came back at $918,300, and we currently have a value of $878,300. So I did not make an adjustment there, and I even feel like with sale number 2, it was a 2023 sale. It came in the lowest. I left it there, and I feel like that's in their benefit because I was trying to use sales that were on busier roads, trying to replicate the same issue, and that still supported our value. Now, in regards to the pictures and everything that were provided, I mean, I know there's the road construction that's going on in front. I know there could be standing water there, and I know the project's been delayed. However, I'm sure once the project gets completed, I would imagine the grading and everything should be taken care of at that time. The flooding on the back of the property, we use the FEMA floodplain. I checked all the surrounding properties, and we all have everyone treated the same. They're getting the amount off for the floodplain. So I'm not recommending any adjustments to this property. I know there's the inconvenience with it, with the construction and the roundabout up front, but there's no way for me to say that's going to affect the property 5%, 10%. There's no way for me to come up with that value without the sales.
Yeah, that's kind of the question I had, and I understand that inconvenience when the property owner was speaking to it, but the county probably just doesn't know at this point how it's going to be affected.
I mean, that's why I did not make any adjustment,
Right.
because I do not have sales. Now, the comparable sales I used for the properties, I did try to find similar roads that were busy, that had road widening projects in the past, on that road, and those sales supported our value. And our land value, we're right in line with the land sales. I know the land sales don't exactly have this exact same issue, but we're treating them how we would treat anybody else with the floodplain, and I couldn't make any changes or recommend any changes on my end.
Okay. Questions for the county, Mr. O'Keefe?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Benson?
Yes, Mr. Smith, how many, if you know, other appeals from that area?
They have 4 of them today, so
No,
those are all the
not-
ones that I
Not the
know.
family. How many other appeals from other residents?
To my knowledge, 4.
4 others outside of?
Right there in that area, if
Right
that's
there,
what we're talking about.
outside of Mr. Killo?
That's to my knowledge. There could
Okay.
be more, but I know,
Yeah, and I think he's speaking to outside Mr. Killo and his
Killo.
daughter, besides,
Besides
see, I do
them?
all the properties in the present use value program.
Right.
So they are in the farm program.
okay.
Jay, he'll be up here next. He might be able to provide more insight if there's more appeals in that specific area. But with them being in the farm program, I know they have their 4, and he might be able to answer that question better for you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith?
Chestnut Lane is relatively busy, but it's a 2-lane road.
Mm-hmm.
It's nowhere near as busy as Old Monroe Road. I mean, nowhere near. I go down Chestnut Lane often, and it's basically either in or adjacent to some very nice subdivisions, which I'm sure brings those properties up. I just have a hard problem looking at Chestnut Lane and looking at Old Monroe Road as being comparable. Personal opinion, I just don't see it.
They're both 2-lane roads, and if I had sales on Old Monroe Road, I would have used them. We can only go off the sales that we have, and if I did not use those sales off Old Monroe Road, I would not have been using sales on very busy roads.
You couldn't find any other sales on it. All these comps are on Chestnut Lane. You couldn't find any other comps reasonably near.
Some of them would have been Waxhaw Indian Trail Road, but then the houses weren't comparable. So I used the best comps that I felt that I had at the time.
Yeah.
I feel like this is more of a land value appeal versus a structure appeal. So, you can look at it that way, but with the land value, as I feel that it is, and the inconvenience,
Okay. Well, the next question I have on the adjustment for flood and/or anything else, there's a small amount on the back of the property that's beyond the flood. Did y'all give any consideration for that?
no, sir. The
Even though
other
it's-
properties right next to them have the same thing. They're not getting any adjustment. And for this property, Mr. Killo, I believe, owns the parcel right behind it as well. So he would have access to both sides.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Killo, any final comments you'd like to make on this one?
Yes, sir. We were concerned about the comps also, and that's a major concern. You know, the FEMA floodplain that is here is, I guess you have to deal with that as established. But we've seen the flooding all the way back to the very end of the property there. I mean, that's, and I don't know when the FEMA floodplain plan was the last one that was used. But as we've
We can have the
indicated-
county, we can have the county speak to that.
Yes, sir.
When was the last update on the FEMA maps?
The last time FEMA released was 2015, but they're
2015.
currently working on a new one.
Okay, yeah, so there may be some changes there. But I do know, we've had this question several times about flood, and all the county can do on their initial piece is apply to what's actually in the floodplain, in the FEMA floodplain.
Would there be an opportunity for readjustment in the future then, when the new floodplain
Yes,
plan
sir.
comes out?
Yes, sir. I mean, when that FEMA floodplain comes out, I mean, if that's like next year, you could appeal next year for the change.
But my point is, in these last 10 years, since that
Right.
time, Indian Trail has grown markedly. And
Oh, I
every
agree.
time there's a house and a rooftop and a road put in, the impervious surface area is depleted.
Yeah.
And we.
I understand that 100%, you know, so, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank you, Mr. Smith, for reiterating and echoing our concern of the property values on Chestnut Lane versus where we are on Old Monroe Road. There is a vast difference from the road, from every element, really. But it is, having this in the front yard definitely impacts property value.
Yep. Yeah, and I think the county has kind of spoke to that. I mean, part of it with the ongoing construction is just is temporary and not a whole lot they can do about that piece of it. Now, if you end up, the access piece and having to drive a quarter of a mile down and turn around, it's probably just yet to be determined how that's going to affect the value. I understand what you're saying there, so.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
And you might just want to stand off to the side, and we'll have the county locate the next property. And, Madam Clerk?
The next hearing is hearing 5, parcel 07114-094B, Ray Killo.
All right, so this is in the exact same Sun Valley School District and directly beside the parcel we just spoke about ending in 093.
Okay.
Yes, this is the home place, and a couple of years ago.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, what place?
It's the Kello Home Place.
Home place.
Yes, sir. The house that is there, the old house, we'll address it again in just a minute, but we took that parcel out and had it declared historic. But the rest of the property is, as you see, we have the problem with the construction at the front, not necessarily the construction to come, but in dealing with DOT, we lost a lot of trees. We lost, and we've gained, you can see, I think the floodplain area on that's pretty accurate back there at the back, because it does go to the back of the property line, and I do not own the property behind it. But nevertheless, we feel that the assessment is high, and I don't know what comps were used, and again, you've heard that there's nothing basically on 01 Road that could be used as a comp from that standpoint. So we'll hear what the county has to say on that.
Okay, let me see if there's questions for the, from the board to you. Mr. Smith?
So is this just farmland right now?
It is, yes, sir. It's always been that
And
way.
it's in the farm program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And the reason that I have a concern about that is that when DOT condemned the property at the front, that was taken out of the farm value, and I had to pay back taxes and penalty, as you know, for back taxes for 3 years. And, that's irritating, to say the least.
I would
But
be
nevertheless, my granddaddy had planted trees there in 100 years. We counted the rings, and they were all gone. They took all the trees down. There's no buffer exactly at the front there anymore. So that is a concern. And in the past, those trees were considered in the valuation.
Okay.
I do have one question. Access, has it been impaired in any way with the way this plan is gonna be, other than having to go around a turn, you have access to the property?
We have access to the property, yes, sir. But what we see is a 100% increase in the market value on this property, and that's in 9 months, so that's of concern too.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Benson.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and Mr. O'Keefe.
No questions right now,
Okay.
thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Killo, and we'll hear from the county on this one at this time.
All right, so, we'll start with the land sales. We use land sales all the way from 12.674 acres and stretched it out. I included one that was 90 acres, that's the sales that we had. The median price per acre was $49,211 per acre. The subject property is 21.04 acres, and the price per acre we have is $41,644 an acre, which, I mean, you can tell that is below the median because, and this was even farther below the median than the last parcel because the last parcel had 3-something acres in flood. This parcel has 8.0299 acres in flood. Once again, it has all 3 different layers of the flood. The adjustment that they're receiving for that is $164,900. As they stated, this property is in, the entire parcel is within the present use value program. I've spoke on the phone with Mr. Killo several times. He discussed with me about the DOT taking the right-of-way up front. I told him, like, if they're trying to take more, I mean, give me a call. We'll be glad to provide a rollback estimate and make the state aware of that and see if you couldn't work that in with the deal as well. In regards to our land sales, I mean, the way the land pricing was done within Sun Valley, pretty much all the rural Sun Valley land sales were put in there, and that is what we were pulling from. But I will also state that the increase was not over 13 months. The last reappraisal was in 2021, so that was an increase from 2021 to 2025.
And what was the 2021 value, just,
The 2021 value, there are some outbuildings and everything. Total value was $425,200. The 2025 value is $965,500 with the
gotcha.
buildings.
okay,
Now, if you're looking like on the PUV side of things, the land rate, the amount that you would pay tax on is the same. Like, that really didn't change from 2021 to 2025. So
Right,
the
okay.
increase came with the buildings where it made it go up a little bit.
okay,
But
okay. And just to clarify, the acreage that you have on per acre of the 41,600,
it's,
that's before the flood application?
that's after flood.
That's
in
after
there.
flood?
So
okay.
the median price per acre is
Glad I-
49,211. So
Okay,
the subject's price per acre is 41,644, and that's with the flood accounted in there. Now, each flood layer, AE and AEFW, they receive the 45% adjustment, and like the flood layer X, the least one, it receives a 10% adjustment, but that one only had 0.2536 acres and the smallest floodplain. But in total, his whole parcel had 8.0299 acres of flood, and the discount that they're receiving for those 8 acres is $164,900.
gotcha. Glad I asked. Okay, thank you.
That was my question.
Okay, so you're good?
Yep.
Mr. Benson? Mr. O'Keefe?
I'm good, thanks.
Good,
Okay.
good, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
Good.
Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
And Mr. Killo, any final comments as it relates to this particular parcel?
Yes, sir. With regard to floodplain, and I know you folks are sick of floodplains.
Yeah.
But to place a $41,000, dollar value on a floodplain that can't be used for anything is out of reason in my way of thinking.
Yeah.
And so I'll make that statement.
Okay, understood, understood. Okay. Madam Clerk?
The next hearing is hearing number 6, parcel 07-114-094, Ray Killo.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Acton.
So I think everybody's familiar with where this is located. It's Old Monroe Road. It's in the same area as the other ones.
As
Isn't this where the big hay man is usually?
Used to be, it's
Okay.
no more.
No more.
DOT took the front yard.
DOT took the hay man.
That's right.
Okay.
So that,
I thought that when I heard the first one, but I said, after I saw the picture here, that kind of
yes.
brought it home, okay?
And again, we're talking about the old house there. This house was built in 1886. It's 139 years old. And it is very, it had to be pretty good constructed, pretty well constructed from the standpoint of its longevity. But there's problems with it with regard to the heating and cooling and so forth with it. It's a single-story house. It looks to be more than that, but it's a single-story house, 2-bedroom, bath and a half. And I don't see how my granddaddy raised 10 kids in it, but he did. But nevertheless, I'm third generation living in it, and we try to maintain it as best we can. But again, with this, we lost trees in the front yard. Basically, the road is going to be about 30 feet from my front steps now. And here again, I understand that I'm not the worst one. I'm not affected as much as some other folks are. I mean, it's tough on all of us. But we have problems now with noise. I can't imagine what that's going to be. But speaking to the situation now, the noise level is a problem. And again, the old house has concerns with regard to how much longer we're going to be able to maintain it.
Okay.
And the value that's placed on it, we think, is high.
Now, is this, you spoke to one of the properties being conveyed or designated as is this?
Historic. This is the historic
site.
portion of that, yes.
Okay, so this is that site?
That's right.
Okay. But obviously still owned by you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, but just designated as a historical site?
Yes.
Okay. Questions, Mr. O'Keefe,
I want to wait for the county to see
Okay.
why they reduced.
Mr. Benson?
Well, now I know why I don't see the big scroll man.
Right, right, so you were thinking just like I was?
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
That's been a concern by others, yeah.
you're right.
And
Usually about
another-
this time of year, that straw man be
Yes,
up there.
sir, yes, sir.
Okay,
This is the time.
okay.
Another issue with the road construction that's going to directly impact Dad is not having, you see how he has the circle drive or the roundabout drive there? He will be losing that and only have a single entrance.
Single entrance.
They just haven't reconstructed that at this point, but that is coming very soon.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
I want to hear from the county. I
Okay.
shake my head.
Mr. O'Keefe was mentioned it. I just kind of want to make sure you understand the current value's been lowered from 347,400 to 311.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, okay? If you would have a seat, and we'll hear from the county on this one.
How you doing?
Fine there, Jay. Mr. Dexton?
All right, so we got the address 5125 Old Monroe Road, parcel number is 071-14094. It is a historic property. Like Mr. Smith said, the 2021 values were, the 2024 values were based on the 2021 data. We hear that a lot, it's went up within the last 12 months, but really it was based off the 2024 values based off 2021 sales. We're familiar with the location map. There's an aerial map and location map on pages 9 and 10. The appeal sent in by the homeowner is basically on pages 3 through 7. If you want to see a picture of the property, you can turn to page 12. We ran a market analysis report. You'll find that on pages 24 through 26. So this is a fairly unique property. When I was looking at the market analysis report, looking for sales, I tried my best to find similar homes on busier streets or arterial roads. But when you're looking at a house this old, you're just not going to find a lot in that market area. On the market analysis report, I did provide 5 comps. We did try to bracket the lot size. We tried to bracket the square footage. Again, we tried to bracket the age, but with a home as old as the subject, it's just very limited data. I will also say that these were the best comps. The best sales, the most similar sales that I could find. One thing, if you're looking at the sales themselves, one thing that does stand out is comp 2. It says the effective year or the year built was 2023. This home has been updated. There's a couple different ways that there's 2 different ways. We can either say that it's excellent or very good. In this case, we changed the effective age of the property to 2023 to represent the updates on it. The actual home was built in 1947. And based on the market analysis, we did use 2023 and 24 sales. Comp 3 was around 1,800 square foot away. That's the reason that we did use that, even though it is on a smaller lot. The rest of the homes had basically 0.45 acres to the largest being 2 acres, while the subject is 0.75 acres. But the estimated value indicated by this market analysis report is $311,100. As far as the road construction, none of these houses that I know of would be affected similarly. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thought it was turned off. So that's sort of what we have with this one. I will add that I did try to find sales on Old Monroe Road. I just was unable to, I just didn't find anything. I looked several different times, didn't see anything similar to it.
Okay.
It's just limited data, so just kind of, you
Yep.
use the best in your opinion, you use your opinion to find the best sales that you can find.
I'm just curious, on the Rocky River Road comp, is that going Rocky River Road north, or is that Rocky River Road south? Is that south of 74 or north of 74?
That is north of 74. If you turn to page 24, there is a map
There we go.
of those. And as you can see, comp 3 was the closest. Again, it had a smaller lot, but it was, fairly close.
Kind of along the same line we got into a minute ago, some of these are not in the same school zone.
That is very possible, because we use sales from 1,700 feet away to, there are sales on here that are 8 miles away.
And I'm just kind of looking at the map.
Yeah,
I would think the subject Sun Valley. And 4 would probably be Porter Ridge. I would, one.
it's very possible. It's, like I said, it's just that we have
Yeah,
limited
very
data.
unique. Yeah, just a unique property. I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. Okay. Questions for the county, Mr. O'Keefe?
I've got no questions, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Benson?
So comp 2, you decrease 76 years. It's almost as if they sort of rebuilt it with the same thing, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, they came in and renovated it. So, like I said, we can either, there's two ways to approach it. We could put it in excellent condition or very good condition, or we could make a condition adjustment. In this case right here, we chose to use, we changed the effective age of the property. Instead of it being built in 1947, it was in 2023, and you'll see that there is, a $200,000 adjustment for that.
At what point does that type of thing get done? What has to occur to cause something like that in the redesign of the house? Is it the amount of the,
No, not necessarily. When we go out and look at the property, or we review the sales photos, we would look at the property and make a judgment call based on either an inspection, or, if they pull permits, then obviously we would have went out to the property, or we reviewed the photos at the time that we were reviewing sales.
interesting. That was my lesson for the day, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. O'Keefe?
I'm good, thanks.
I got you, Mr. Smith. Okay. Tom, you good?
I guess Old Charlotte Highway, when it gets that far down, is really the same road, isn't it?
It is.
It is, but it doesn't have the same influence right now.
Why is that? Because of being
The road
almost 5 miles
construction.
away?
Yeah, the road construction.
Yeah. But it's still saying, it's a busy road.
It is a busy road, and
I
three
mean,
of my
it's the same
four.
traffic, it's just a matter of where it is in the process. They're
Yeah.
all busy all the way up, from Monroe all the way up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I did try to use busier roads, arterial roads. 3 of the 4, one's on Rocky River, one's on Old Charlotte, and 2 are on Secret Shortcut. So I did
Busy
try.
road. All those are busy roads. Yeah.
They are busy.
Yeah.
They're just not as busy as Old Monroe
Right.
or Old Charlotte.
Right. And Kennerly, is it in a little neighborhood right by near the house? Because it's covered up, I guess. The one that's very close. Kennerly, number 3.
Yes, sir.
Where is that one?
Mr. Smith, if you see on your screen, you can actually see it to the south of the property.
Oh,
Just
wow.
below it, you can see it on the map. That drive right across, just diagonally from it to the south, that's Kennerly Road Drive.
That's Kennerly Drive, okay.
It's actually labeled, you can barely see the road name.
Well, I see driveway, oh, Kennerly Drive, there it is.
There we go.
So
Yeah.
is it off the map or on the corner? That would be my question.
Do I go down?
0714667.
It's right there, right?
It's that one. It's one of those, it's not the, it's not one fronting on,
If you will, pull it map up some more.
Looking for 6.
Is this it?
160, we're looking for 167.
It's-
Why don't you just search by it real quick? That might
Okay.
be easier.
Yeah, it might be. Sorry.
just seems it's pretty far off the highway. It's all, that's my whole point. It's not really adjacent.
Yes, yes, sir, but it was,
It's near the house, but it's not, it's in a neighborhood, not off, it's not on the highway.
It's on back in there a little bit.
Way back
Yeah.
in there.
it is.
And in
Yeah.
a hood.
But I specifically, the reason I showed it, it's the only one that's not on a busy road, was just because of the proximity to the subject property.
Yeah.
I felt like it needed to be given consideration, or at least on the market analysis.
And you consider the condition of the subject as an average plus home, is that because of age? Because it's still holding together after 100 odd years?
The quality, we have it as average plus. Yeah, it's probably just because of whenever we had been out to the property, looking at the photos, the characteristics of the home, we felt like it was, whenever it was graded as average plus quality.
But the condition of the home we have is average.
The condition of the home is average,
But the quality is average
Yes,
plus?
sir.
yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if you'll notice, all of my comps are average. Ooh,
They're all average.
yeah, they're all average.
And you got one very good. On Seacrest, number 4 is a very good.
That's condition.
Yeah, condition.
Condition.
Yes, condition.
Yeah, and then you have the number 3 that's excellent for
Condition.
condition,
I
but
think-
average. But, you know, I mean, they vary.
The quality on all of them is average.
Yeah.
The condition on one of them is very good.
One of them is
One's
excellent,
One's excellent.
one's excellent, and one's very good, and they're adjusted for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Benson.
no,
Go
wait
ahead.
for the chairman to
Yeah,
take
go
it
ahead.
Just so I understand, average plus is better than average, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't know. All right, thank you. That was my question, Mr.
Okay, Mr. Smith, are you done? Do you have any additional questions, or?
Yeah, I'm done.
The only question
I'm
I had,
done.
yeah. The notice value was 347,400, the current value is 311,100. How did that change take place? I mean, I know it's a result of this market analysis that was done. Was there some further, I mean, they had the appeal, y'all looked at it, and then adjusted it downward by 35,000 or so.
Yeah, so the original notice was 347. I took a look at it, I ran a market analysis report,
Which is this one,
which would have been 317,400.
okay?
And then this is the most recent one, that was the informal appeal. And then when it became a BER appeal, I looked at it again, and I dropped it to 311,100.
Okay, okay.
So that's kind of the process on
So
that.
the market analysis was just fine-tuned?
I reconsidered it.
Right.
And, you know, I tried to take a little bit longer look, a little
Right.
deeper dive
Right,
into it, I
gotcha,
guess.
Gotcha, okay.
And that's where it came in at.
Okay.
So,
Everybody good? Okay, thank you, Mr. Acton. Mr. Killo, any final comments on this one?
Yes, sir. As you can see, there's really no valid comp to this house.
It's unique. It
And-
is,
and
it's a unique property.
It is. And could I put forth a value that we would endorse?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we would,
Okay. I would be happy with a $250,000 value
Okay.
on the house. And here again,
And a lot of times we do ask that, and on this agenda, it's got a number in there, and so I appreciate you.
And with all due respect, you did a good job in dealing with this, but we feel that there's some extenuating circumstances here that would reduce that number a little more.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Killo.
The next hearing is hearing 7, parcel 07-114-089A, Kilo Roletter Holding Company LLC.
All right, this property is Old Monroe Road, and I think that is South Fork Road.
Yep.
It's right there on the corner. There's a location map, page 9, and an aerial map, page 10. So it's just right down the street. It's a little further west, I guess northwest, on Old Monroe.
Know exactly where that is.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Kello, Mrs. Roletter? Roletter, right,
Yes, sir.
okay.
This is our last one. So, as you can see, the shrinkage from the picture up there, and this is on both, so this house really got shrunk on both the front and the side there. So, half an acre from the front and side yard were taken for the DOT project. So the property went from 1.5 acres to 0.9 acres.
1.5 to 0.9. Okay.
Yes, sir, so over half an acre, actually 0.6. And there's a construction netting up in the front yard that comes within feet of the front door. So if you flip and look at the pictures here, you can see a before column, which this is what the property looked like before DOT came in, took the property, destroyed the trees. And then you have the netting on this side right here, right literally at the front door, very similar to how it is at Dad's house as well. Yeah, so it gives a really good picture there, and you can also see all the mess in the front yard, as well as if you look at the very middle picture, that's half the magnolia tree remaining in the side yard. If you look beside it, there's a tree there, and now there's just, I mean, they literally went halfway up the tree, and we have half the magnolia tree. But anyway, as we've already said, this project's been delayed. A property's gonna look like this for years. As also mentioned, other similar properties don't have this in their yard. The comps for this were off of Potter's Road and Waxhaw Indian Trail Road. Again, yes, busy roads, but nothing compared to Old Monroe Road in that regards. So we also lost in this property 6 big shady trees, as already mentioned. And then we have that construction debris, equipment disruption to landscaping. And as you see at the bottom, the property went from valued at $245,200 up to $400,700 in a year. So that's a
With
six.
the loss of the property.
With the shrinkage as well. That's around a 63% increase in value in a year when, you know, we lost a third of the property
And
essentially.
then I showed, just while we're on that subject about the current value, and then I showed now the current value has been reduced to $329,100. Are you aware of that?
No, sir.
And I'll have the county.
Oh, wait. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I have it on here.
Okay, so you're aware.
Yes, on the side, yes.
You're aware
So
of that?
It was
Okay.
yes, so it's still a 34% increase. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay,
I found that out right at the last minute, so I went and added that to the slides. It's
Right.
on there.
okay.
But yes, so there's still a 34% increase going on there.
And I don't want to interrupt you because you may be getting to this, your opinion of value on this property.
Around 275,000.
Okay. Okay, continue on. I just kind of, while we were right there, I wanted to make sure we were,
Talk about the utilities and the proximity of those to the house.
Oh, yes. So they are in the process of moving the power poles, and they're going to be right up on the house as well. So we just hope none of them topple over on the house, or there's not
There's a safety concern.
There's a
there.
safety concern as well with the utility poles being right there at the house.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so again, with finding finding like properties, I understand it is a challenge, right? Because there's not other properties on Old Monroe Road to compare to. But in finding the other properties, I strongly believe that there should have been detailed adjustments made to take into consideration all that is going on surrounding the property, because it is a value issue. There is a decrease in value with all of this stuff going on, and in addition to the decrease in the property size itself.
Okay.
So,
Questions for Mrs. Roletta or Mr. Killo, Mr. Benson?
Yes, where your home is, as I'm looking at this picture, if I was coming from Monroe and crossed South Fork Road, is that where that church sits, right there?
so the church is actually diagonal to the house.
Diagonal to the house?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the church would be on your left. If you're going into, you say you're coming from Monroe into Matthews, so that house is on the right.
On the right, and the
then-
church would be on the left?
Yes,
Yes,
so
sir.
you pass
Yeah.
Garmin Road and the church is on the.
Okay, I
right.
just wanted to make sure exactly that,
Right.
that area.
And there are some access issues as well. You see the concrete there, access off of South Fork as well as Old Monroe Road. It is all beat up. I think you can see that in one of the pictures. And we actually have had to talk to DOT about the drive off of South Fork, or connecting to South Fork Road, because of the equipment going across it has literally crushed it down. So when you go across it's, I guess, essentially a ditch, or where the piping is. It has crushed the piping, and so when you go across there now, it's a big divot there. And in addition to all the crushed concrete that is off of Old Monroe Road as well. It's just been destroyed.
Now, when you talk about decrease in value, are you thinking what it would project to be after they finished everything, rebuilt
I'm looking at
everything?
present value.
I heard you say decrease in value.
Yeah, it's a decrease in value, yeah. I understand your
I don't
question,
know.
yes, we're talking about a decrease.
Make sure we
in
were
value.
talking into the mic there.
Yes, we're talking about a reduced value now going forward.
So you're looking at a decrease in value going down. So once, do you not believe that the property, that once everything is finished, would be of greater value?
And we don't know when that'll be.
Okay.
Okay, again, they're not going to start this part of the project until 2028, is last we heard. And then that's going to be, they're saying
2028.
construction will be anywhere from 3 to 5 years, is what they're saying. So, I mean, this is probably going to carry over into the next tax evaluation season.
Okay.
So it's a long road ahead, literally.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. O'Keefe?
Yeah, was there any consideration from the DOT when they came in and just did this to you?
In my opinion, no.
In your opinion, there was no DOT?
So, no
Consideration? They didn't
consideration.
pay you for this?
But yes, there was, yes, compensation.
That's what I was
Yes.
sort of getting at.
I imagine what was acquired by the DOT would be between the green and the blue lines, correct?
Yes,
Right.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, my question would be, the erosion control fabric, is that really where the right-of-way ends? Or is the blue line the property? I'm not sure, because sometimes these property
That's-
lines aren't marked right.
That's a good question. There is, the thing that I think we might be dealing with here is there is a utility easement. And I think that the erosion control fence is on the utility easement and between the house. And that utility easement is temporary. It's an easement, a temporary easement, as I understand it.
So the poles that we see here are going to be moving back onto
Yes,
your
sir.
house?
Yes, sir. Between and in this case, relatively close to the erosion control fence.
Yeah, between the blue line and the erosion.
Yeah, it's got to be
percent.
between the
Yes.
two somewhere.
Good point. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
We'll hear from the county now, and then we'll give you a chance for a rebuttal on this one as well.
Okay, so the appeal, the appeal is on pages 3 through 7. There is photos in the packet on pages 12 through 14. If you'll turn to 16, page 16, there were some suggested sales that were provided. Those sales were reviewed. Out of the three, comp 3, I did choose to use it in the market analysis report. Comps 1 and 2, they would have, when all the adjustments are made for the differences in the properties, they would indicate a value of $450 and $472. So didn't feel like that was a good indicator of the subject's value. We just felt like they were, or I felt like they were superior sales, so I didn't use those. And then the market analysis report that I pulled is on pages 28 and 29. So on this particular market analysis report, I did use 3 sales. They're both 24 and 23 sales. They're all within about approximately 2 miles or less than 2 miles. They're 1.7 to 1.8 miles away. This particular property, it has 0.90 acres. So when we were looking for similar sales, not only did I try to find and use sales on busier arterial roads, but I also tried to bracket the subject's lot sizes. The subject is an average plus quality, so comp 1 is average plus and the 2 others are average. All the sales are fairly similar in age. They're either, the sales, looks like there's one, the subject is 1961. These are all, subject 1 is 1959 through 1972. The square footage was bracketed as well. Again, tried to use busier streets. Just couldn't find anything on Old Monroe Road that would have a similar road construction influence. Went back 2 years, just couldn't really find anything.
Okay.
So, but it indicates a value, this market analysis report indicates a value of $329,100.
Okay. So it came down from 400,700 to 329,100.
Yeah, and the same thing applied. The original notice went out at 400,700. There was an informal appeal. We dropped it to 363.4. I took a more in-depth look at it, and we adjusted it to 329,100.
Okay. Questions for Mr. Acton, Mr. O'Keefe?
No questions, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Bencham?
No, sir,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Smith?
And I think from what you said earlier, you really didn't do any adjustment for construction or anything.
No, sir. If we can't extract it from the market, if we don't have any market sales, we're really limited to making adjustments because we don't know what those adjustments are. We can't just make arbitrary adjustments. we may recognize or we may feel like there is a difference, but unless we have market data, and we don't in this case, a lot of times you can try to find sales that would have a similar influence, like road construction. Again, I just couldn't find any that I thought were similar.
Thank you. That's it
Yes,
for
sir.
me.
And let me clarify something. This is a little off the subject here, but it maybe came up. Like on this one, if the board made a minor adjustment on this property, how long does that stay on there?
It'll stay on until the next reappraisal
Till the
cycle.
next revow?
Appeal. Yeah,
Okay.
next
And-
revow.
Can I speak to
Yes.
the road construction?
Yeah.
Just what we've seen in the past. So, not only this property, but every property up and down Old Charlotte Highway to the Mecklenburg County line is being affected by it. So,
Yep.
to be equitable, and like Jay spoke, you have to see it in the market
Yeah.
to be able to reflect.
Right.
And we're using sales within the market. Of course, we're not on Old Charlotte Highway. But what we've seen in the past is when Ray Road came through off of 16, these are temporary factors.
Right.
And they will be remedied, and usually, ends up with a better result. They have a better highway in front of them, a better road, less congestion. And we just haven't seen it impact values in these property values going down.
Right.
Due to the construction. And I know it's an inconvenience while it's
Yeah.
going on.
Right, yeah.
Yep, I totally empathize
Kind of
with
get where the
them.
property owner's coming from too.
I do.
Yeah. Oh, you're, so. Yep,
Yep.
yep, understood though. And we've dealt with quite a bit of this, I think, in different parts of the county.
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
he's actually talking about what I
Well,
was
get
talking.
to the mic there. Yeah.
He's actually, not he, Paul was actually talking about what I was getting to earlier about, at some point, once it's all finished and laid good, that value will get back or exceed probably where it was. That doesn't help the homeowner at this point in time, but I just was wanting to make that point.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of due diligence on this one, it looks like, too. I mean,
Right.
the county's looked at it a couple of times, and it's come down twice, with two looks, so,
Yeah, 71,600.
yeah, so not quite where the property owner wants to be, but understood. Okay, Mr. Acton, thank you.
It's just hard for us to say that there is a negative impact in actual seeing it in the market without the sales.
Right.
Prove it.
Right.
That's our job.
And more times than not, like you say, it goes up, but if it goes down, and it would be adjusted accordingly, right?
If we were, the next reappraisal, and if this project's done and it affected it in a negative
Right.
way, it would reflect in the
Right.
market based
Right.
on the sales.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Acton.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Kello, Ms. Roletter, any final comments on this one?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I hope in 8 years that this project is done. I'm a little doubtful of that, but I hope that will be the case. But I did just want to say thank you to everybody the appraisers and everybody for putting the time and effort into this and really pulling apart the data and looking at it. But I also want to just leave one final thought, that what you've heard over and over again is that there's limited data. There's very limited data. It's hard to find comps. And we have presented 4 unique properties. They're unique in and of themselves, right? So I just want to make sure that that's taken into consideration, because other properties can skew the numbers. And, there were no adjustments made for consideration of what's going on in the front yard.
Right.
But thank you all for your time. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much.
Is it break time?
If we may have one more. Do we
Is there
have,
one more of these?
yeah,
I think that was it. I think,
Madam Clerk?
What's y'all's pleasure?
Well, we're through with the agenda. I didn't know if anybody else had walked in, so we're through the agenda. Let's take a 5-minute.
No, we're not through. We're not
Okay,
even.
I didn't, yeah, okay. Let's take a 5-minute recess.
Okay.
Okay. Been 2 hours at it, so,
Yeah, 2 hours is my limit.
yeah. Right, yeah, I knew we were done with kilos.
Wow.
Order, Pete.
All right, we'll call the meeting back to order. Madam Clerk?
The next hearing is hearing 8, parcel 06-201-308, Jeffrey Ross. Let the record show they failed to appear. The next hearing is hearing 9, parcel 03-108-017G, Michael Popowitz. Let the record show they failed to appear. The next hearing is hearing 10, parcel 03-108-017H, Michael Popowitz. Let the record show they failed to appear. The next hearing is hearing 11, parcel 06-078-187, Randy Tin. Let the record show they failed to appear. Hearings 12 and 13 were late agreements, which are included on Addendum A.
Okay.
Hearing 14, parcel 07-102-032D, MAK Corp. of Monroe.
We're in Book 2.
Book 2.
Yeah, we're in Book 2, fellas. The fun
We're
part of
changing.
the evening.
We're moving, Hubble.
All righty, Mr. Ziegler?
Yes, sir. Okay, so this is the Quality Inn in Stallings. It's 74 where the bypass begins. This hotel is located on Guillen Lane. There is no access to 74. It's a service road if you know that area.
Yep.
Scott Clark's right here on 31. The hotel is located before you get to Stallings Road.
Okay, and that Guillen Lane's what runs right in front of it, though?
Yeah, it
Right.
runs from Marie.
Right, but it's a service road.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Service
yeah.
road, yeah.
Okay. All righty, Mr. Bagby?
Yes.
Okay. How are you today?
Well, thank you. Appreciate y'all staying late to entertain me.
I hear you.
So-
That's some cheap entertainment.
Yeah. I was at Mecklenburg County for 29 years in these fellas' seats.
Okay.
And so
You
I
understand.
really appreciate what they're doing here today and y'all as well. Really, with this is a property, it's a Quality Inn. It's been a troubled property ever since they started the construction of the highway, and then they had multiple issues with they cut off their access. It never has really rebounded to the level of where it was. This is an exterior, a lot of the rooms are exterior corridor property, which is less desirable, obviously, than the hotel site type. If you look at...
Yeah, let's make sure we have that mic turned where we can hear. Yeah, there you go. There you
All
go.
right, is that better?
There we go, yes.
All right, if you look on page 17, this is the value at a glance from the STAR report, and what it shows under occupancy. You'll see that the occupancy of this property is 40%.
What page are we supposed to be on?
On 17,
I have in our book a
I believe it's
financial
on
statement.
18.
Am I in the wrong?
Yeah, we're in some financial, we're not on the same page.
yeah, yeah.
It's tab 14.
Oh, that's the problem. Had the wrong one.
I think that's right, yeah, we're on tab 14.
Yeah, it's tab 14,
Tab 14,
page
page
17.
17.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody got it?
We're good, yes.
Okay.
You look under the occupancy, and you can see that the occupancy of this property is 40.7%. The occupancy of the comp set is 71%. The ADR, the average daily rate, is very close in 9160 and 9294. But when you take your daily rate and you multiply it times your occupancy, you come up with RevPAR. And that's where it indicates that the value of the income generated from the property is low, in that it's 3726 versus the comp set at 6667. So it does suffer from the fact that it's where it is, and it is an exterior property. In looking at comps, well, not so much the comps, but in looking at the income approach, I'm sorry, I've got one property in my mind thinking the other one. If you look on page 59, this is the county's income report for the income approach, and you got the income, the effective gross income was 1.7 million. You got the operating expense of 1.635. You come up with an NOI of 336,582, and even using a extremely low cap rate of 7.4%, which I haven't seen a quality inn sell for 7.4% ever. They're 9-10% cap rate. And then making the reduction for the $1.6 million worth of FF&E, and that's your furniture and your fixtures that go into each room. They're indicating a value of 2.9 using the income from the property. The value of the property is being assessed at 5.9, and that's based on sales that the county has used. But if you look on page 61, kind of stands out to you that the income approach is showing value per room about 24,600. The sales comparison approach, Witching is showing about 53, and their tax value is $50,000 per. These properties are bought and sold based on the income approach. They're, it's not how they look, what they're doing, it's what they're making on, what they bring in on a nightly basis. This property has suffered. One thing in looking at all of these properties is looking at sales comparison approach. That sales comparison approach includes the FF&E. And on this one, the FF&E is 1.6 million. So if you take 1.6 million off of your sales prices, it gives you a better indication of what the properties are selling for. And looking at the sales comparison, their value is $6.2 million, and you remove the FF&E of 1.7. That gives you a value of about 4.5 using their sales comparison approach. The actually indicated value would be about 4.5 million, but yet they proposed to me a value of 5.9. Y'all don't have this, and I just realized that. In looking at the different types of these properties, the exterior corridor properties, they tend to be for tradesmen. You know, you see a lot of, if you go by there, you'll see a lot of construction trucks.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of thing at this type of property. And whereas the newer hotels with the interior hallways, you know, they draw a lot more money. And in looking through some of the information that thought I'd present to you, the hotel properties with outdoor corridors give the perception of cheap or inexpensive. You know, you don't see a new property being built with exterior rooms. And safety, you know, burglary, robbery, drug deals, other kind of crime, you know,
8 minutes.
nefarious individuals being reported, you know, it's easier to do when you got direct access to a room.
And I want to make sure, we'll hold the timer here just a minute, because I don't know if you were here when we talked, did we hold each one to about 10 minutes?
Okay.
And you get a 2-minute warning, which you just got.
Okay,
And
okay.
Not saying we'll hold you firm to it, but I mean,
Okay,
just-
well, that's good to know.
I don't think you were here when we were
No,
reading
I
through it.
I
Okay.
did not hear that, but I didn't see it exhibited that, so I didn't know how we were.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, just to get, you know, kind of give you the picture of what's there.
Right.
This property is, we provided the county with the 3 years' worth of books. And that's where they came up with their analysis. And even in their analysis, they came up with a value of 2.9 using the income from the property. So, but we understand that the property, you know, it's been remodeled some, to try to clean it up, and they, you know, but they're still suffering from a low occupancy. But we would entertain a value of 3.9. That's what we think that the 2.9 is a low point. We think that, you know, a 3.9 valuation would be fair.
Okay, Mr. Bagby, let me see if members of the board have any questions. Mr. Benson?
No, sir, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman, at this time.
Mr. O'Keefe?
Not at this time, thanks.
Mr. Smith?
Nope, I'm waiting for the county on
Yes,
this.
and in your line of work, I mean, the average occupancy rate, I mean, you said that this one's at 40.7%.
You need to be at 65 to 70%
I kept thinking
to be
around
able to make a living.
Yeah.
You can't
Okay.
cover the bills.
Right.
And another, on one of the other properties, it's, you know, when you look at your expense ratios, you know, your expense ratios are great if you're occupant 65 or more.
Right.
But you can't go by the ratios. You know, people say, oh, you can make a good living if you got 65% expense ratio. Well, that's great if you've got the rooms are full.
Right.
But it's not a pro rata thing. You know, when you drop 25% of occupancy, your expenses don't drop 25%. They don't drop hardly anything.
Right.
You know,
Still
you gotta
certain
have
things you
the
gotta
same
do.
people there, you gotta have the power on, you got the same advertising, you know, all your major expenses are still there.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah.
Let us hear from the county, and
All
you
right.
understood, once the county presents and we ask questions of them, we'll give you a chance for up to a 5-minute rebuttal
Okay.
on this too. Okay?
All right.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Bagley.
Okay. So we're the Quality Inn Stallings, 118 rooms, sits on 2.5925 acres. Our current value is $5,902,400, or $50,000 a room roughly. If you'll turn to page 15, that is the initial letter we received with this appeal. I'll acknowledge, we did receive 3 years' worth of income. As the agent did, we also focused on the 24, since that's the most current income. But pro forma is speculation as to what's going to happen in the market. All right, so that's a word we need to figure out too. So we're not speculating here, we're looking at actual numbers. And they've provided some income for us. And that income, you'll see on page 16, right, 1.604 roughly $1 million in room revenue, and then 65,000 in miscellaneous revenue equals 1.7. All right, so there's a number there. I don't see how those add up, but I think it's more like 97. Then we've got some expenses, and I think we can both agree that the expenses are the expenses. I find it hard to believe that the expenses don't go down if you have less occupancy. I have never been in a hotel room where it was a comfortable temperature when I walked in. I don't know about y'all, but I have never seen that. So I would expect that they would reserve power or try to cut down on their expenses as best they could. And if not, then it's indicating they're not running their property correctly. So on page 49, we do have our analysis of the sales. We have 11 sales. They are throughout the southeast. They are Quality Inns. We have 11 Quality Inns, and there was one with a cap rate of 7.4. And the income report that you're seeing on page 59 is just to expose the fact that we don't feel that the property is being, either we're not getting the numbers reported that are actual, or they're not running their property as efficiently as they could. Neither here nor there. The number's 2.9 if you use their numbers and remove the improper expenses, and you use the cap rate of 7.4, which we also feel is a little low. When we did our market analysis to build the models for these hotels, we paid for services to provide us this information across the area. Our cap was 8, roughly, for this type of hotel. So, but just to prove the point, 7.4 is what we got from the actual sales. And if you'll see on page 16, his final number for income, less FF&E of a little bit higher than what it was for last year, is $786,000. So even the agent realizes that the income number is not a number that can be relied upon because he's offering 3.9 in the value. So I put that in there for 2.9 just to show you that it was a little bit not the way it needed to be. On page 61, you will see our summary report. We're currently at 5.9 million. The income shows that it's way off. It's an outlier. The sales comparison does, as he pointed out, show the FF&E. If you subtract the FF&E out, it would be 4,624,960. But still within the realm of possibility of where we are. And we think that the agent has not shown any information to disprove our number at 5.9 million. And we ask the board to uphold our value.
Okay. Questions for the county and Mr. Ziegler, Mr. O'Keefe?
Just want to make sure I'm following the math here. 6,267 less FF&E.
1,642,000.
Okay, got it. That's how you get the 4,624.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. The cost, if you just want to know, the cost for this building, if we count in depreciation and age, would be $7.7 million. I didn't provide that in your package, but I have a property record card with it on it if you'd like it. So, again, also within the realm of possibility of 5.9.
Mr. Benson?
No, and the county has gone down significantly from their initial value. So, no, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Smith?
I'm digesting this, but it seems to me that even though this is a Quality Inn, they vary greatly in, let's say, appeal to the public to stay there. This is a tough location.
Oh, I agree.
This is a tough location, being it's not on the major highway, you have to get off and find your way down there. And it's an older property, outside entry. Because I have, it's so much information here, you can't digest it that quick. Were most all of these other comparisons outside entry hotels, or were they a mixture?
Some of them were. Our focus was to pull in quality inns,
Yeah,
since that's what the subject is.
well, a lot of quality.
Some of the pictures are, you can tell, this hotel is about half and half. The front building, let me see if I can get this to work for us today. Everybody, say something nice. All right, so the front building has some open-air access. The rear building is all central corridor. I'll flip over to the other side. So now we're looking at the other side.
Okay, so some of it
74
is central
Yeah,
corridor.
it's like a
Yeah.
two-part hotel.
Yeah, this
The
used to be a
original and
Holiday
the
Inn
newer.
Express, if you remember.
Yes, yeah,
Back in the day?
yes, yes.
Okay, so it was a Holiday Inn Express, but it's got some of both. So it's an unusual property for sure. We also recognize the location and feel that we've made adjustments
Yeah.
accordingly.
Back in the day, probably was a great location.
Yeah.
But we built a lot around there.
So the sales comparison approach is being leaned on the heaviest from the county.
Well, we're kind of going with our original number. Yeah, sales comparison, I
Yeah.
would agree.
And we ask the taxpayers to provide financial statements, and now they've presented them. And,
They don't say what we want.
yeah, well,
Well, I think
And I
they're,
kinda
I think
get
they're
where the
built
county's
for a
coming
different
from.
purpose. I
Yeah.
think they're built for tax returns.
I don't know if you kind of look at a blend of both of them. I mean, I think that the income approach, they've submitted the information. I kind of get it with the expenses maybe, where the county's coming from, but,
I really just don't think there's a value on the income.
yeah.
Not on this one.
I'm saying this is not a loanable property.
Yeah, so, I get it. I mean, does the county, board have any further questions at this time before we move on? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ziegler. Mr. Bagby, you have any final comments on this property?
I would like to defend the owner in that this group own multiple hotels throughout the southeast. They own a dozen properties from Raleigh to all over. They have, this is probably their problem child, if you will. They have Sheraton 4 Points in Raleigh, right at the airport. They have a Holiday Inn Express in Mecklenburg County. They know how to operate a hotel.
Right.
We can question their books. I did make a mistake on I listed the full income of and when he was talking about the 1.7,
Right.
and because it has like 20 different lines of different types of income.
Okay.
He breaks it down, to the drink machines, the dot. And I picked up the miscellaneous number and plugged it in, but there's so many more that were in there. But the number was right. The $1.7 million was
Yeah,
correct.
all that was captured. All the revenue was captured.
It was captured.
Okay.
I just didn't capture the miscellaneous number.
Right.
That was on me, not the.
But you
not
caught,
the
you
owner.
caught the total number. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Like I said, it is, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, it's not making any money.
Right.
Like I said, he's put money into it. That's the reason there's an FF&E.
Make sure
at
you
1 point.
continue to talk into the mic.
That's the reason there's an FF&E of, as high as it is because he has put money into it to try to bring it up.
Right.
It's not like he hasn't. But it's not producing the income that that warrants, the value of $6 million, which throws it in with all the properties throughout the state, that might be in better locations.
Right,
I mean, he had a great location until they put 485.
right, right.
He had a good location. Yeah, I've defended this value before, and I would sit here and be telling you it's worth twice this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood,
Yeah.
understood. Okay,
All right.
thank you,
Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
The next hearing is hearing 15, parcels 09261-017, Shri Krishna Incorporated.
Number 15.
Yeah, 15.
All right, so that we are the Best Western in Monroe on Hanover Drive. The big white roof across the street is the Lowe's, and the one next to it is the Walmart. It's right across the street from the Monroe Aquatic Center.
I see it about every day.
Okay, I do too. Okay, Mr. Bagby on,
We exchanged information late last week, so I didn't able to get this to y'all.
as long as
For
the
it to be
county
on-
has the same information, so,
I don't believe we've seen it until this moment, so.
okay.
Basically, I've just revised what was presented prior.
Right. Similar style property, it looks like.
It is. This is the Best Western, sits on Roosevelt. It's right next to the Quality Inn and Suites, which is a 65-room hotel. This is a 64-room hotel. If you look at page 26, this property is currently being assessed at 5.1. It was assessed prior at 7.1. The Quality Inn that's right next door is assessed at $3,626,750, which is $55,796 per room. This property was originally assessed at $111,130 per room. And if you take the value that's placed on the Quality Inn, which is their comps, I mean, they compete every day for the same people coming in the door. It would, if you take the value of $55,796 times the 64 rooms of the subject property, it'd render you a value right at 3.570,944.
Okay, and then you've submitted financial statements.
I have provided all the financial statements for 3 years, the STAR report. I was in these guys' shoes, and I remember, if you don't provide me any information, I can't help you.
Right.
And so I believe if I can't provide it to you, it means I'm hiding something. I'm not hiding anything. That's the way I always looked at it.
Got you.
And looking on page 49, this is an income template that they put together. Just like everybody that's put something like this together, you can make mistakes. And there's a couple of corrections I'd just like to make. if you go on the second, third page of what I provided, it shows that the cap rate value was 4.156, and rather than reducing it by the FF&E, it was added by the FF&E. So that's where you get your 5 million, your 4,000,004. Just correcting the math, that would make it $3.9 million. Looking at it further, a little sharpening my pencil and looking at it closer, the property tax was deducted on 49 revisited as 36,745, when indeed it was 26,745. And so there's another $10,000. So when you run through the numbers of 1.459 total expense, gives you an NOI of 340,804. Capping that at the 8.44 gives you a value of $4 million. Then 242,901 deduction for the FF&E gives you an income value of $3.8 million.
So is that the opinion of value?
It is.
Okay. Okay.
Now, the opinion of value was what, Mr. Chairman?
3.8 million. Are you ready for questions from the board, or?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
All right, Mr. Smith.
No, he's answered what I need to hear.
Okay. Mr. Benson?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
Thank you.
O'Keefe?
No, thanks, I'll wait for the county.
Okay. And then I just saw in the report, the occupancy on this one's quite a bit better.
Oh, yeah.
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 Okay. So, okay.
Yeah, both of the properties, both it and the Quality Inn next door to it, their numbers in line step. So
Right.
the value should be in line step.
Right.
You know, it's at 3.6, we're asking for 3.8. I don't think, we're not going out on a limb on that.
Okay. Got you.
Thank
Let
you.
us hear from the county, and then I'll give you a
All right,
chance for a
sure,
rebuttal.
thank you, yeah.
Okay, we are the Best Western Monroe. We have 64 rooms, 2.289 acres. Our original value was $7.1 million. Our current value is $5.1 million. I will acknowledge the mistakes I made on the income report. I really don't think that's a big deal, because if you will turn.
You might want to turn the mic to.
I apologize. I will ask you to turn to pages 28. We'll start at 28 and 29. This is the income statement for, well, it's for 12 months ending October 31, 24. So not quite a whole year of 24. We got 3 months of 23. So we got that going for us. Then if you'll slide down a bit, let's look at the bottom of that page where we start with salaries. And we've got $20,000 salary, $28,000, $117,000, $47,000 salary, and we flip the page because it just continues. We've got another $20,000 salary. So if you do that math, we have $265,650 in salaries being taken out of this property. So that's just profit coming right out. And I don't begrudge them for taking a profit. I just am saying we're taking 14.7% of the gross income out of the property as a salary.
And that's salaries to officers and owners.
I can
Yeah.
assume that would be the way it is because wages for people that are working there
Are below
appear
that
to be
line.
like front desk, housekeeping, maintenance, and breakfast. Those wages equal 28.1% of the gross income. So, again, income was never going to be our push on this because whether it's 4.3 or 3.9 on page 52, you will see that our tax value is now 5.1. Sales comparison shows 5.1. Those are regional sales. And then Best Western only sales are 5 million. So once again, I really don't think the income holds any support to what we're looking at here. Our sales start on page 43 where we have, I don't know if you remember, we have 9 Best Western sales. I really just think, I think on this one, the income is going to be irrelevant. Cost on this would be $5,022,000. So again, right in line, and it proves that the income is an anomaly. It's a variant that you wouldn't use to consider. It's going to be an outlier. So we're asking the board to support our value of 5.1
Okay,
currently.
questions to the county, Mr. O'Keefe,
No questions, thanks.
Mr. Benson,
No, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Smith.
You noted the salaries of a couple $100,000, but there's no management fee listed in here. It seems like they're just doing one or the other and paying out the shareholders individually, probably by some kind of percentage. And there's not a management fee. Just want to clarify that.
I do not see that. I would expect to see it as well.
Yeah, I would expect to see a management fee in there. that
Sure would.
Would have,
For a Quality Inn, because you're going to have certain things with these types of hotels, right? So they have people that set rates, they watch what's going on in the area, and they're setting rates for the hotels if they subscribe to that service. So certainly would expect to see a management fee of some force, like a franchise fee, but don't see that.
different than franchise fee, but, you know,
Similar.
this is basically a chain, a group of hotels.
Yeah, it's like a McDonald's.
They own a number of hotels. I'm aware of these people, let's put it that way. I don't know them personally, but I know they operate a number of hotels, and either you're gonna have a management fee or you're gonna have salaries out, and this is probably, given it's a established and kind of runs itself, may not need the same type of oversight, and they're paying themselves out. That's just
Yeah.
my thought.
Good point.
Yeah, it could be, Mr. Chairman, that they're just doing the management themselves.
Right, okay. Everybody good? Thank you, Mrs. Ziegler. Any final comments on this one, Mr. Bagby?
No, I'd just like to, point out, like I said, it's
Right, need,
the best comp for it's the Quality Inn across the street from it, and it's at 3.6. We're
right,
asking for 3.8. I don't think that's,
discuss that in deliberations on
you
the
know,
Quality Inn next door. Okay. Thank you, sir. And Madam Clerk?
Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, may I speak to that?
Yes.
I'm sorry I didn't in my presentation. We're referring to this Quality Inn right up here on 74,
Right,
right at the intersection, what is that, Max is right there on the corner.
yep,
So we've been in conversation with this hotel owner, and they are renovating. They're in the process of renovating. This one's in need of renovation. So that's been taken into consideration on that value. That's
Okay.
That's lower.
okay.
you're talking about the Quality Inn.
Yes.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
The next hearing is hearing 16, parcel 09-301-002G, SREE, TBM Monroe LLC.
We got the Hampton Inn, it looks like.
Yes, sir, I'm just getting that flood off because
All
I
right.
don't want to talk about flood. All right, so we are the Hampton Inn at Roland Drive. The new Chick-fil-A is on
Chick-fil-A.
1D.
Yeah,
The Walmart's off to the right. There it is.
yeah.
This hotel is on 2 parcels. Because of the income approach, all of the value is on 2G. We have 0 value on 33A. It was appealed. Everyone's aware of why it's at 0 value, because all of the value's been pushed to 2G.
Okay,
33A is not a hearing.
okay. Got you. Okay, Mr. Bagby?
Here again, I provided the 23, 24, 22, 23, and 24 P&Ls, the ST, the STAR report, and the only thing I would add on this one is, in the informal process, the value was no change at $13,446,643. And looking at the income for the FF&E, it was noted that there was not a deduction for the FF&E of $2,455,444, and that's what we were here to ask for today, is the reduction for the FF&E, and that would give us a value of $10,991,199. Might as well say 10-9.
Right, got you, okay. So I'm trying to get, because you've provided it, just a glance at the income approach.
The income approach is on
Is it on 18?
48, one of the pages. Oh, my income, yeah, it's beyond like page 18.
So you're in agreement with the county's income approach?
Well, I just think that the easiest way to resolve it is to reduce that by that, so FF&E. That was their value. The only correction I'm making is that take the deduction for the FF&E.
Mike, Mr. Chairman.
I'm taking it, it looks like it's been deducted, but I'll have the county speak to it if I'm looking at page 48. But questions for Mr. Bagby on this with Mr. Smith? Do you have-
No,
It's a lot to digest, I know.
You got
quickly. Okay. Mr. Benson?
No, well, what's the occupancy of this running? What is the occupancy of this running?
The occupancy of this property is 69.4. Has an expense ratio of 64%, 54.5.
Thank you, sir.
And
Probably need to still make sure you're kind of speaking into the mic best you can.
Yeah.
You
I'm
can flip
sorry.
it around there.
Yeah, I moved this over, yeah. Anyway, I'll run that by you again. The occupancy is 69.47. And the expenses were 64.75%.
Thank you.
So when you have a good running operation, that's 65, 70% for, of the higher the class of property, the more expenses, because you have food and beverage just runs your expenses up. Everybody says, oh, that's great, they got a great restaurant. They don't make money off of that, it costs them money.
Right, okay, okay,
But that's how they keep people coming.
okay. Hold on just a second, Mr.
No question right
Okay.
now, wait for the county.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bagby.
We are the Hampton Inn in Monroe, 121 rooms, 2.952 acres over both parcels. The sales that we have are regional. They begin on 37, and on 43, we have Hampton Inn only sales. Those numbers are summarized on page 51. Our original value was $13,446,600. With the income and the sales, we felt like an increase was warranted. In conversations with Mr. Bagby, with our office earlier this week, we said we were going to keep it at the 13.4, but if he's looking for a further reduction, then I think the income on this one is supported by the sales. The sales, however, are including the FF&E, so I would consign that there should be a reduction to this one, and I would agree to $12,345,200, which would be based on the sales. A little bit higher, obviously the income that we have, $14,898, is taking into account the FF&E, and is still at that number. So $12,345,200 would be our offer here today.
So that would be
Our
the current
revised-
value.
The new
our-
current
Our
value?
revised number, yes, sir.
Revised current value from the county.
Minus
The only
two,
thing
so-
I want to clarify on the income, when I'm looking at page 48, and we're talking about the FF&E being deducted or not, now it looks like it's been deducted.
Yeah,
Am I missing something? Just not,
maybe I didn't do that math right either. Hang on. No, I did.
at the bottom.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did the math right on this one. Yeah, I'm subtracting it out.
So it was already subtracted out.
Yeah, so 14.8 is a good income number.
Okay.
Well, there's 2.7 odd on Mr. Bagby's work and 2.4 odd on this one. There's a discrepancy in the
You're
FFE.
talking, okay, so the
By
discrepancy in the FF&E?
$300,000.
The FF&E?
Yes.
Okay, so what's happening is Mr. Bagby's pulling a number from, that was reported in 2024. So it's going to be for the previous year's FF&E. And my number is for the number that was reported in '25, which is for year ending 12/31/24.
Understood. Okay.
So that's why there's a discrepancy.
So, but the county's current value would still sit at the 12,345,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Questions for the
No, that was
county?
my
Mr.
question.
Bench, Mr. O'Key, Mr. Smith?
A lot to digest, a lot of numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a disagreement between the two of them.
Yeah, yeah. Understood. Thank you, Mr. Ziegler. Okay. Mr. Bagby, any further comments on this particular property?
Shouldn't even do this. But since I prepared it, I will give it to you.
Yeah.
I ran through, after our discussion, looking at sales, the sales comparison approach, and looking at 5 sales of Hampton and like properties, and I did this on my way out the door, and I can sit there and look at it, and I see my typos already in it, but anyway, the Hampton Inn in Pineville sold, the Hampton Inn in Arrowwood sold, the Hilton Garden Inn in Pineville sold, the Hampton Inn in Rock Hill sold, and the Town Place Suites in Mooresville all sold. So those, looking at those 5 properties, just to back up my number before, they sold for an average of $87,500 a unit, which would come up to $10,500. And I've got the information here for you.
Which is kind of on your number
Yeah.
that you recommended, okay?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to follow along. Is that in this packet?
I don't
see that?
believe so. I
Oh,
think he
okay.
said,
So this is new information?
yeah, we don't have it.
I don't think
Yeah, yeah.
No, thank you.
I think since we know where your number is, I think we're good.
Okay,
Okay? Thank you very much.
all right.
Okay?
Hearing 17 is a late agreement included on Addendum A. That brings us to hearing 18, which are the settled staff recommendations. So that includes all the hearings for this evening.
3 hours on the nose. And now we go into deliberations, okay? So, y'all ready?
Yep,
Ready, Mr. Chairman.
All right,
Back to book one.
okay.
back to book
Back to
one.
book one. It might help if the county, as we do these, if you could get the properties back up on the map as we go through. Would that be too much to ask? Or- Yeah.
Thank you.
The first hearing for deliberation tonight is hearing number 2. It is in Notebook 1, Tab 2, parcel 06006-008, Freedom Farm LLC.
This is, she has a small house and a fair bit of land and a lot of flood.
A lot of flood.
Yeah, I mean,
And with an appraisal.
I tell you where I am on this one. I think the appraisal's good. I mean, I hadn't looked at it in detail, but I looked at it enough, and we've had very few bring a full documented appraisal
Right.
in the uniqueness of the property. The firm does good work, and I wouldn't be opposed to adjusting it down to their number. you know.
I was thinking the same thing, Mr.
The
Chairman.
number's 510.
510.
Yeah, let me make sure.
Yeah.
That was it, wasn't
It's
We all had
510.
income approach and sales approach, and there were $1,000
Well-
difference.
it? Yeah.
I guess the only thing we can do is make sure exactly what it's 510.
It's
Yeah.
510.
And I understand the county was staying in the school district, in the
Yeah.
school attendance zone. But I mean, then we had another one today where they went out. I mean, to me, I don't know, the comps may be very similar, but they're in the Parkwood school attendance zone versus the Weddington school attendance zone. But it's, two of them are right up there on the border. You know,
She came well prepared tonight.
yeah.
And the property, I know the property, I drove by it a lot.
Okay.
It's been in the current state for probably 10 years. It's clearly built, they built the original structure to live in while they're building the big house. That's what you would think as you drive by this thing.
Right.
But they've never built the big house. But it's set up for, you know, a Weddington-style mansion.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something with over 3,000 square feet, it's set up for a big house.
Um,
But
I'm trying to get to the approach, and they reconciled it.
do
Yeah.
you know Morrison Appraisal?
Yes, very well. I mean, I think that was maybe the biggest difference when we heard between the county and the taxpayer is, the comps from the taxpayer were in the Parkwood attendance, school attendance zone. The property is in the Waxhaw Weddington attendance zone.
Well, you gotta commend the county, because they'd already begun $40,000 deduction, so they were kind of headed in that
Yeah,
direction anyway. So we gotta give them credit for that.
Yeah.
But I make them, well, I'll wait for you, Mr. Chairman.
you're good, yeah.
I make a motion that we accept the taxpayer opinion of value at $510,000.
Okay, so I have a motion from Mr. Benchin to reduce the value from 703,500 to 510,
Second.
which matches the appraisal supplied by the taxpayer, and a second from Mr. O'Keefe. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So the motion is carried to reduce hearing 2 to 510,000.
The next hearing will be hearing 3, Notebook 1, Tab 3, parcels 08, 1080009A Richard Dees.
I don't know if we were supplied with any evidence from the taxpayer on what we could do here, but,
Agreement on the value of the house or, you know, the property, and then the land was what he was
yeah, and I mean,
zoning and right away of what I've got. The zoning.
it's not about access, but
Yeah,
it's-
access
but it's
was
got
my
access, and the
issue.
county spoke to that. I mean, we've
They
heard that
did.
time
I
and
know,
time
we hear
again.
access all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree
But
kind of with
20
what.
foot is about as narrow as I've heard. Usually
Yeah.
it's 30 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the county, again, headed downward 59,000
Yeah,
from what the original notice was.
yeah,
I can recommend.
go ahead.
I recommend that we support the county's valuation, current value of $416,900.
Okay, so I have a motion from Mr. O'Keefe. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Benson. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So the motion is carried for the current value to remain on tab 3 of 416,900.
These next four are all kind of together.
Yeah.
Yeah, one at a
There's
time together.
differences in them, I think.
Yeah, there are differences.
The next hearing is hearing number 4, Notebook 1, Tab 4, Parcel 07114-093, Ray Killo.
I kind of get it with the comps. I mean,
It's
if
tough.
you don't go to Monroe Road, you go to Chestnut Lane. I mean, it's a busy road. It's not as busy as Monroe Road, Old
It's
Monroe Road.
nowhere near as
Yeah.
busy. I
But
drive
it's-
down Chestnut.
Yeah.
It's a connector road.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything like this. It's not a major road. I have a problem with, and you're sitting there next to Brookhaven. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, it's apples and oranges in property. I mean, what your surrounding neighborhood and everything else, I just. And I think we ought to, even though they said he potentially has access from the rear, but the property really doesn't have access to the rear. It all ought to be in flood from the
He owns-
beginning.
yeah, he
I know he
owns
owns
the rear, yeah.
it, but for practical purposes, this, you know, there's really negligible access. I mean, it's way in the back, hard to get to. I would look at it that way. I just, I feel on this one, this is one that's, you know, all these on Monroe Road, I have Old Monroe Road, I have real problems with
Yeah.
because busy road, getting busier by the day. And, yeah, it's gonna be construction forever there. They cut all the trees down because they had to cut them down when there weren't any bats in them. That's why they all went down. And then the project got delayed.
I'm trying to think. I mean, this is where their opinion of value was versus the county. I don't know if that's correct or not.
I think in some cases, they gave a new value, but in this one.
I tell you
don't-
where I put my number if I looked at this, was 750.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Did you have a number?
I mean, just given where it is and how it's getting screwed up, and then the value, I mean, I would clearly knock these comps down by 15, 20% based on location. Just, location isn't comparable. Now, down the road,
Well, it's just tough to pull comps on it, you know.
yeah,
And I think the county said as much. I mean,
yeah, it was tough. No,
Yeah.
no way to get good comps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on a tough spot.
I could
So-
support.
So I'll make a
Let
motion
me-
for
let me add-
750. I'm
yeah.
just gonna make a
Oh.
motion.
Let me ask, well, let's get the motion, I'll do it in discussion. So we've got a motion by Mr. Smith to reduce it from 878,300 to 750.
I could second that.
Second. So on discussion, can that just be flat reduced to 750 on the number? Okay, okay.
Just like I previously stated, the adjustment will come off the structure side.
Right.
But yes, the overall value can go flat 750.
Right, and I think it was to them, we explained that about how that, okay, whether they want to remember it or not, but, okay. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, so the motion is carried to reduce the current value from 878,300 to 750 on tab 4.
The next hearing is hearing 5, notebook 1, tab 5, parcel 07114-094B, Ray Kilo.
Okay,
On this one, the county did the, everything on the flood.
Yep.
It isn't like, this one's different than the one we just talked about.
Oh, yeah, each one was different.
Each
This
one's
is-
different.
this is land here, this is just
Yeah.
farmland.
And
There's no, yeah, he's not worried about getting in and out of there, you know, like, yeah.
No, and it's in the farm program, so he ain't paying the real tax.
I think this one's reasonable.
Okay,
I'm fine with it.
okay.
I recommend that we accept the county's current value at $965,500.
So I have a motion from Mr. O'Keefe. Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Second from Mr. Smith. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So the motion is carried for the current value of $965,500 to remain on hearing 5.
The next hearing is hearing 6, notebook 1, tab 6, parcel 07114-094, Ray Kilo.
Now, this one gets impaired.
Yeah,
And,
as
and
small as it is, I mean, they screwed up his whole driveway.
they
deal
screwed
there.
up his driveway.
Took down my straw man.
You're gonna see power poles, I guess, getting it right up to the house somewhere when it's all done and said. Again, because you can see where the black line is, it doesn't go on his property yet, but it will. And the comps were just very difficult to compare around.
That's,
And I mean, and you got one down the road that was adjusted down to 267 comp 2 that was basically a renovated.
What
one.
page are you on?
25.
Was that the last market analysis? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's the last, well, it's the next to the last page.
so when
It's
they
not
moved the age
last
to
page.
2023, it took 230,000 down. You know, I see what they did.
Yeah, they took a bunch down because it sold it way up there. Then they adjusted. And
If you adjust, when we adjust, is it quality or condition? If you don't mind me asking? On 25.
25.
I'm saying if we made an adjustment, do we adjust? I kind of had a note here to have discussion about adjusting the quality or condition to get the number down a little bit.
Well, we could do, well, he didn't really, well,
Yeah,
to the condition of it, if you have a number, we would just override, unless we felt like the condition of the home, we'd hate to change the characteristics of the home.
Okay.
Unless he said it's
Okay.
really poor, some stuff physically about the house was run down. Then we would make a condition change, but if you just think the value's wrong, we would just override the value
Well,
to get to where you want to go.
and I made a note about trying to sell a two-bedroom home. It's a two-bedroom, 1.5-bath
Okay.
house. So I mean, does that
That
factor
would,
in?
that would be functional
that's functional.
obsolescence.
Okay,
And we can make a factor on, a negative adjustment on the functional to get to a number, whatever you
there we
decide.
go. I'm just trying to think of a legitimate, instead of just lowering the number.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, lower is he lost a good chunk of his property, and with right-of-way power easement, he effectively loses more.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing's gonna be in his front door.
Yeah,
All
that's-
that would
that's the
fall
thing. I
under
mean, that's-
functional obsolescence. Yeah, So via functional obsolescence, if the board is so inclined, you could take it from 311,100 down to his number.
His
that
number
I-
was 250.
Right.
He was 250, I was thinking somewhere between 250 and 275, somewhere in that range.
I was
I like
hoovering at that
275.
275.
Okay.
I was hoovering.
Go.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Go.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion on hearing number 6 that we lower the tax value to $275,000.
And to add to that, what's via functional obsolescence. Okay.
Second.
I accept that,
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
Second from Mr. O'Keefe. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like signs. The motion's carried to reduce the current value from 311,100 to 275 on hearing 6.
The next hearing is hearing 7, notebook 1, tab 7, parcel 071140889A, Kilo Holdings LLC.
This is the one where they're really chopped it. They took it from 1.6 down to 0.9.
They took the side, they took the front,
So they really chopped this thing
they
up.
chopped them up in
Keep
the
in mind that
telephone poles.
they did get compensated for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got paid for it, they had to pay tax on it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it is,
I mean, this one really gets whacked.
and
If it
we're
was
not,
that- if
this
it
isn't
was-
far off. I
If
mean,
it was to the house to the right, I wouldn't be giving them much consideration because that one sets off the road enough. This one's so close to the road, and then you got a utility easement right up to the sidewalk almost.
the taxpayer's at 275 and the county's at 329.
I agree with the taxpayer.
Okay? So,
I'd go with 275, at least.
I'll make the motion at 275. Y'all
we
can fight it out from there.
have a motion for Mr. Smith to reduce the current value from 329,100 to 275. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. On the discussion, this could be adjusted the same way via functional obsolescence with the land.
Well,
So we would do an override because doing functional would almost be impossible to hit that number
Right.
exactly right. So
Okay.
we would just do an override,
Okay, that's
but we
fine.
would note that
Okay.
in the record that's the intention.
Yeah, because if it comes up again the next year, it's helped a couple of times having those prior
Yes.
BER notes on those tax.
Yeah, and those notes
Yeah.
will appear on the property card.
Good, good. Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, so the motion's carried to reduce the current value from 329,1 to 275 for hearing 7.
This one didn't show, I don't think.
I recommend that we accept,
No,
oh,
the
never
clerk.
mind, we gotta wait for them.
Yeah.
Clerk.
Don't be jumping ahead of Madam Clerk.
I know that I was too pushy there.
The next
I'm
hearing
hungry
is
too.
hearing 8, notebook 1, tab 8, parcel 062013008, Jeffrey and Kimberly Ross. They failed to appear.
Now we-
I recommend that we accept the current value of the county, current value of $959,000.
Second.
Have a second for Mr. O'Keefe, a motion for Mr. O'Keefe and a second by Mr. Benchin for the current value to remain at $959. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, so the motion's carried for the current value to remain at $959.
The next hearing, hearing 9, notebook 1, tab 9, parcel 03108-017G, Michael Popowitz. Let the record show he failed to appear.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the county's current value of $53,600.
Second.
I have a motion for Mr. Benchin, a second for Mr. O'Keefe. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, so the motion's carried for the current value of $53,600 to remain on hearing 9.
Too bad the guy before didn't come, he had a good appraisal.
They did? Okay.
Yeah.
The next hearing is hearing 10, notebook 1, tab 10, parcel 03108-0178H, Michael Popowitz. Let the record show they failed to appear.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the county's current value of $175,300.
So I have a motion from Mr. Benson.
Second.
Second from Mr. O'Keefe. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So the motion is carried for the current value to remain at 175,300 for hearing 10.
The next hearing is hearing 11, Notebook 1, Tab 11, parcel 06078-187, Randy Tetton.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we accept the county's current value of $618,300.
I have a motion from Mr. Benson.
Second.
Second from Mr. O'Keefe. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So the motion is carried for the current value of 618,300 to remain in hearing 11.
Hearings number 12 and 13 are included on Addendum A, which we will cover later.
Okay.
Next hearing is hearing 14, which will start Notebook 2, Tab 14, parcel 07102-032D, MAK Corporation of Monroe.
Okay, this one probably has the biggest discrepancy of all of them, I think.
Yep.
I think kind of where
Tell me again which number we're on.
we're on hearing 14, tab 14.
14?
Yeah, yeah.
So what happened to 12 and 13? Are they on,
They're on the,
I wasn't.
Addendum A.
they're on the
They're
staff
addendum
recs.
A, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I heard, addendum A, and I didn't know how far to skip. I'm sorry.
So the current value's been reduced from roughly 9.5 down to 5.9.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right, if the FF&E is out, the taxpayer was around 4.5 million, so that's kind of the. I'm just trying in my mind, you know, we continue to harp on the financial statements. Of course, there's a lot of subjectivity, you know, in there too, when you start calculating cap rates and all
Right,
that kind of stuff, but,
And the county went far and wide for comps of the same,
you know, which is a different approach.
the
But,
same hotel to search for good values.
I mean, it's been reduced significantly, but I mean, I know,
I mean, the
think
income and
we all-
sales approach are just way off from each other.
yeah,
I mean,
that's, yeah, and,
Yeah, the county came down 3,585,500.
but then you look at location and where this thing is, it's in a, with the
Yeah.
road, it's in a bad location.
I'm trying to remember, because I did not pick that up the first time. Part of this hotel is Central Corridor.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's half and
The
half.
la-
Well,
latter part.
it's
Yeah.
probably a third central,
Yeah.
2/3 outside.
Yeah, about a third.
Does anybody have what page the income of, I mean, the income approach?
59 has one of them. And I can't say that this group, they're good operators. They're not bad operators to have the numbers be off. These are professionals, been around for a long time.
Right.
I didn't personally deal with them at the bank, but I knew of them, and they were good operators.
I don't know that it gets, do we get down to the 4.5, or do we, is it somewhere just kind of right around that number, but,
I could.
yeah. I mean, it might, we would be standing on the income approach, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
If,
And they kept harping on us to get people to give them numbers.
yeah.
And they gave us numbers.
Yeah, yeah. And I kind of get part of what Mr. Bagby was saying.
Yeah.
There's a core level of operating expenses that are going to be there no matter.
No matter
Yeah,
what.
no matter
Yeah.
what.
Granted, I mean, if it's 170%, the expenses are going to be higher. I mean, because you're going to be running more power and,
But the income far exceeds that
Right,
so much. I mean, there's just the base level to run one of these places
right,
that when you fall below a certain level, it's horrible. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. I would,
Well, it seems as though that the county itself recognized a lot of that with its own reduction.
yeah. It's just,
It's a big step.
that's what I'm saying, I could support anything from where we were coming from with the income approach to something kind of in
So
between.
what number are we looking at, we're thinking about, you were thinking about, Mr. Chairman? You or Mr. Smith?
I mean, I was
Without just,
looking more at the 4.5 type number,
right, okay.
to be reasonable on this. I mean, this is, selling this property would be a
I mean, do
best
we,
thing they could do, but they probably can't get rid of it because it doesn't generate enough income for anybody to want to buy it.
do we put it on the exact number so we know how we came up with it? I mean,
You'd have
do
to
you
put it
take
as,
it-
you'd have to put it as an income approach.
Yeah. Yeah. And just put it on that exact number.
Yeah, you can put it on that exact number. I forgot, I lost my page now.
It would be the 2905900 and then adding the FF&E back into it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what, you can do it either, you can go one way or the other. But
Yeah.
what page were you on?
59.
59.
59.
I've got. a
Yeah,
little-
I was looking at the cap across there, you know,
Okay.
before you did it with the FF&E and all that.
Well, that's
mess.
true, that's true, yeah.
But you're thinking the same thing
Same
I
thing,
was.
okay, that's right, okay. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I want to make sure y'all understand where we're
Yeah,
coming from.
You understand these numbers better than I ever will.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm relying on both you guys to understand that.
Well, I'll make
And
the motion.
I just have with the issues with the property too, kind of.
Oh,
making-
yeah, the property's got issues.
Yes, and you know where it is, everybody knows where it is.
Yep.
And knows how hard it is to access it. I
Yep.
mean, it's not like it sits on Highway 74 where you can just ease in and out of there.
You don't use it out of this
No.
place. And it's surrounded by commercial.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like there's a McDonald's or Chick-fil-A next door. It's
A warehouse or
That's-
something.
warehouses and everything
Yeah.
else. So it's a tradesman hotel.
Would 5 not be good?
I make a motion, we adopt a number of 4,548,412.
it puts it right on the number so we know how we got there.
412.
You'll have to round the number.
Do we have to round the number?
Yes. I can't enter
Okay.
a unrounded number into the system.
Put it on
How about $4,550,000? Will that work?
Yes.
I mean, 4,500,000.
It'll
No,
have to be rounded to
$500,500.
$100.
Yeah, we can.
4,550,000. How about that?
455.
Just so the board knows, we can round to the $100.
Yes.
Okay. Just make it 4,550,000.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this right. So I have a motion from Mr. Smith to reduce the value on hearing 14 to 4,555,550.
550.
Okay. 4,550,000, okay. So that's the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second from Mr. O'Keefe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
So noted that Mr. Benson opposes. And so the motion's carried. All those in, yes, we voted.
Yeah, we voted.
So the motion's carried for the value to be reduced from $5,902,400 to $4,550,000. And on hearing 14. I think that was the one that was more impacted than any of them.
The next hearing is hearing 15, Notebook 2, Tab 15, parcel 09261-017, Shri Krishna Incorporated.
Okay. This is the Best Western. It's tucked behind the Quality Inn in Monroe, correct?
Yeah, next to the aquatic center.
Yep. This is the one where we had the salaries in the financial statement. I want to get to the same page on the income. of
49.
49.
49, 50, and 51. I mean, you kind of run, those are the 3 pages.
Yeah, I think we got a good explanation on what was going on with the neighboring hotel. You know, the taxpayer was making comparisons to the other
That
one.
one's under construction.
And the county had taken that into consideration, so I don't know that we don't lean on the income approach again to be consistent with it or somewhere close to it. And
Close to what?
somewhere on that, I mean, we may be good with the current value, but
I am.
either we're good with the current value, keeping in mind the salary items in there in the financial statement,
What's that?
the salary items.
Yeah,
in the
but there was no
financial-
management fee.
Yeah, so I don't know how that, from a percentage standpoint, that management fee expense would be, what, in the 6, 7% maybe?
Probably 7, 8%. This was probably double that.
This was 14%.
Yeah, it was double.
I don't know that we just leave it.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the county's current value of $5,100,000.
Yeah, so have a motion from Mr. Benchin for the current value to remain at $5,100,000 on hearing 15. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. O'Keefe. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, so the motion's carried for the current value of $5.1 million to remain. And
The next hearing is hearing 16, Notebook 2, Tab 16, Parcel 09301002G, SREE, TBM Monroe LLC.
Just the one question on this was the FF&E,
Yep.
because everything seemed to be done with it in there, from what I gathered from all the conversation.
And the county has said that they wouldn't look unfavorably at $12,345,200.
is that what the county said, or was
Yeah,
that?
That's
that's the
what
county said,
because
and I
that's
can roll with that.
the valuation less the FFE or whatever we're calling it.
Since we got both parties here, can I clarify that with the county? Is that good? Okay. Okay. Somebody want to roll with it?
I just want to do a little math first. Hold on one second. Clear.
Are you checking the same thing I am to make sure they're not taking the FF&E out twice?
Well, I'm just checking.
That's what you thought the first one?
I think the county did my math for me.
Because I ran that number, and it comes up just shy of $12 million, not 12 plus.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the county's number.
Because it was $2.7 million of FF&E.
See, I got
2.4
2.4
in the original, this is page
on
48.
page 48.
You know what, it depended which
Hampton
date
Inn
you
versus-
pulled from. They were pulling from their
That's right.
year-end financial statement,
That's right.
which was 2 point.
That's right. Good point. And the county pulled from year end 2024. Right.
I don't know why there was that much difference between the two. Let me go double check and see
Yeah,
which
we got
one was
both parties
pulled
here. We have
from.
the county clarified. Can we have the county clarified, since we got both parties here?
14,660.
The value that the county put on it originally did not have a deduction for the 13 million. Did not have a deduction for FF&E at all.
Okay,
And that's all I was asking for was the reduction from the 13.4.
The question is, what's the FFE number?
5 number.
The FF&E number that we're using, 2,455,444, is what was reported to our office on January 29th, 2025. So it would have been for the year ending December 31, 2024.
Because his financials had it, what the number was.
okay. So getting to the number of the 12,345,000 is what I have. I might have wrote that down wrong, so I
Yeah, that's right. 12,345,200. We did not take it out of the two sales analysis. This is on page 51.
uh-huh,
So I added them together, divided by 2, and then subtracted the FF&E.
and that's what
That's
we
where I
got.
got the
That's how we got there.
12,345.
Okay.
He got 240, and the appellant used from the financial statement of 2,723,926.
Right. And,
It's not- They have to pay taxes on that in 24.
okay.
So that's what.
We need, if you,
reported in 24.
okay, got you. I think though, one thing, the county's working off the sales approach, and then we're looking at the income approach too. Is that-
Right, but but if we're saying we're gonna just take that number and reduce it by the FF&E, we gotta use the right FF&E number.
Mm-hmm,
And the one I'm seeing came off the financial statement. Now, the financial statement, I believe, was October, which is their year end. It is not December. But I don't know if we have that number, where this 2.455 number came from.
Mr. Ziegler, can you kind of speak to that, kind of help clarify this? And,
I don't know how I
I
can
just
make
want
it
to make
much
sure we get the
clearer.
right FF&E number
Yeah, so,
to
well,
use.
you're probably making it clear, we're just
no, that's fine.
not. Makes it a little easier, we got both parties present, so we can.
The FF&E number that the appellant is presenting is on page 24.
24.
If you look in the top left-hand corner, it says it was returned to our office on January 23rd of 2024.
And it's 2,723,925.
That is 100% correct.
That was the
But
number,
it's for the
not-
year before. It's for the year that ends 23.
But it's what they're taxed on, and the tax.
In the year 24.
Yeah.
Right, or we're in 25.
We're in agreement.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
So the number I have, and I'll be happy to put this in your hand, was returned to us on January 29th of this year. So it is the FF&E for last year,
Right.
2024.
Right.
Okay,
All
that's
right?
the
So
question.
that's the 245,444.
That clarified it totally.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
So that drives that number.
yeah. And then he explained to us how he got to the 12,345,000.
So are we where I was?
I think so. If you were, let's get it in the form of a motion and we can roll. Yeah, okay.
What is the correct number again?
If we round it off,
Yeah, no, it's.
12,345,200.
200, yeah.
okay,
You ready for a motion?
yep,
I'd like to make a motion that we establish the level, the new value at 2 million,
Huh?
12 million,
Yeah, he was having a heart attack back
he's
there.
smiling.
12,345,200.
Okay.
Second.
So I
There you
have a-
go.
Have a motion from Mr. O'Keefe, a second from Mr. Benson to reduce the current value from $14,667,000 to $12,345,200 for tab hearing 16. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, so the motion's carried.
Hearing 17 was a late agreement included on Addendum A. That brings us to hearing 18, the settled staff recommendations.
Oh, good. Addendum A.
Yeah.
I make a recommendation, we accept addendum A as stated.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Smith, second from Mr. Benson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, so the motion is carried to accept the staff recommendations on tab 18 identified as Addendum A.
That concludes the hearings for tonight.
Lordy me. Okay. Longest one of the year.
We'll need to make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Second.
Got a motion, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
You just earned $60. Less taxes. Less taxes. What's that? Yeah, that raised it in half.